Unleashing the power of Redwood Radio. This is Citi 97.3.
It's the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Citi 97.3. Accra.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
And miss the presence and the face of this great voice. Kofidu Anto. Sakradi born, Fantepim educated, KNUST Horns, great ambassador of the gospel. His own rendition of a very popular song, 624 97.3 Citi FM, Tuesday morning, 23rd day of July 2024. Yes, I am the bread of life. He that comes to me will never hunger, and he that believes in me will never thirst. So there are two dimensions of your response to the Lord. Coming, that's what you do on the outside. Believing is what you do on the inside. And you need the two to really bring change. Say, he that comes to me. Now you do that moving. You need to move towards what you desire. But you also need to believe. That's faith. So we have to balance the believing of the heart with the movement of the body. He said, he that comes to me will never hunger, and he that believes in me. Because of course, coming solves a different problem than believing. One is hunger, the other is thirst. And trust me, thirst is worse than hunger. So you start from faith. Oh yes. You must believe, and then you do. And Romans 10 repeats it. So, for with the heart man believes unto righteousness, but with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So which of the two are you out of balance? Do you believe or do you do? You need to do both. We must be believers. We have to continue believing that this country will become better and that we have a role to play in fixing it. We have to believe that the African continent will rise. We have to believe that the black man can manage his own affairs and that we can build systems that last beyond us. We have to believe that we have a place in the narrative called the world. We may not be invited to G8 conferences, but we have agency over our own life. We have the capacity to determine our own destiny. We have to have faith. But having faith is not enough. We have to act. We have to act in a concerted fashion. It's not just wishful thinking and believing God will do it. We have to also accept our responsibility. Because leadership begins when you start taking responsibility for your own mistakes. Yes, people contributed to our downfall, but we were also willing actors in that very bad thing, and therefore we have to act. We have to believe, but we also have to act. Business Sense this morning. Powerful song by Kofidia Antop, inspiring some great thoughts in the morning. So think like a man of action, but also act like a man of thought. That's what I'm saying. Business Sense brought to you by ADB. We have a variety of personal loans, including top-ups at highly reduced interest rates to help you achieve your business goals. Call 0302-210-210. Let's talk about agri and more. We're starting the show with the Newsroom review brought to you by Total Excellium. Our new formula is 3-in-1. An additive and rich fuel with powerful 3-in-1 action. Cleans your engine, extends its life, lowers your fuel consumption. It has anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives. Excellium also lowers your vehicle fuel consumption while reducing CO2 emissions. Choose Excellium. Choose quality. And Fidelity Bank is happy to announce that the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System is here. The fuel of economic development is trade, and PAPS makes it easy with money transfers across Africa without going through a dollar or a pound. So from Ghana, you can convert cedis to Naira or to the Gambian Dalasi or to other currencies like the Sierra Leonean currency, the Leone, and all the other currencies, the Liberian dollar. Visit any branch of Fidelity Bank today. Let's start sending money through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems. Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
We understand the excitement of preparations that comes when your child gains admission into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chop box, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
And we're just using this song to get you into the mood for the day. There's so much you can do. Budget is going to be read. We have coverage for you on Channel 1 at 10. Citi FM at the same time as well. Big panel with Vivian hosting them. As Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, aka Anta, presents his first budget as minister. Well, we are told there will be no new taxes, but what will happen to the old ones? That's the question. So watch out for the analysis on the show. In the US, Vice President Kamala Harris has garnered enough delegate support to become the Democratic Party nominee. So quite a lot of things happening in the, what they call the world's largest democracy. The fact is the world's largest democracy is actually India. But you know. But that's, yeah, so that's happening in the US. Keep an eye on that as well. We have Richard Delasky in the studio with Nathan Kwao.
Yeah, man.
Newspaper review segment. I want to read a few headlines from GNA. I thought it was quite interesting.
Okay.
There's an interesting headline. Yesterday, power regulators met in Accra, and they are calling for diversification of energy sources.
To include solar.
So just like in journalism, you don't want a single story. In power, you don't want a single source.
Okay.
Because the ultimate risk management is diversification. This is true in finance.
Okay.
This is true also in power.
Okay.
So they're calling for diversification. Yeah, that's the story that I thought we'll focus on this morning.
Oh, beautiful.
Citi is leading with some of the issues in Parliament. Of course, there's going to be a big budget today. But over 7,000...
Media review of the budget.
Yes. Over 7,000 people died from road accidents between January and June this year. So our epidemic is road crashes. People die on the roads. Yeah, 7,000. Do you know what 7,000 means? How many churches can contain 7,000 people? How many halls in Ghana can contain? All of them died. We're not talking about those who were injured, those who were maimed, those who were impoverished. Yet we have road traffic regulations. We have Road Safety Commission. We have Ministry of Roads and all of these guys. Of course, we also have bad driving. But sometimes you have to find a way. The streets are too dark. The roads are dangerous. We need to work on this, right? So that's a big story. And then a few others. Let me start with the Times and I'll come back online.
The Ghanaian Times says this morning, let's break trade and investment barriers as we support the increase flow into the continent for development. This is coming in from the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Also on the front page this morning, we're told Ghana requires some $12 billion in investment over the next 3 years to drive economic growth. And it's quoting the Minister for Finance, who is before Parliament later this morning. And Promasido Ghana funds surgery for 10 cardio patients. And they've decided to donate equipment also to the Kaneshi Polyclinic.
Wonderful.
Okay, if you go to the Daily Graphic, taxman hands for evaders. Ministry GRA in massive taxpayer data cleanup. The president is also here. He says Arab Africa Financial Consortium will ensure rapid development.
Right.
And then you have Bost also telling us about their profits, and Mr. Samuel Jinapo saying that he will not disrespect Yagbon Bura. The final story on the front page of the Daily Graphic: prioritize social welfare in petroleum revenue use. Groups tell the government. And on the back page of the Daily Graphic, atomic flyover expansion joints exposed.
Yes.
I remember a few months ago,
Atomic
Texas
junction.
sent us
Yeah, very dangerous. Some cars, best tires can be very, very dangerous.
the
Indeed.
flyovers expansion joints exposed, and the Daily Graphic is highlighting that.
All right.
The Chronicle, we will vote for Bawumia. Wechao chiefs are assuring the MPP. Akufo-Addo supports establishment of Africa Monetary Fund. Bokwansa is inspiring school children on his 75th birthday. And a group is petitioning MPP over demolition of financiers' house.
All right.
The Daily Guide says angry Badmin sacks MP from house, and there's a picture of the speaker here, the Alban Badmin Honorable. Will vote for Baumia, like Sky said, Richard Paramount Chief is speaking. 2 nominated for Supreme Court, and Nana pushes for more Africa-Arab trade.
The business analyst says economy to grow at 3.1% in 2024, set to reach 5% by 2026.
All right.
T-bills to decline slowly in coming months, and NCA defends telcos over high data cost. Some other stories here even on the front page of the business analyst.
All right, the Daily Post says Joycelyn Tete calls for more affirmative action for women, and her picture is here. And then MPP engaging in provocative politics, blocking or pulling down NDC billboards and defacing posters.
The Economy Times mid-year budget review to be presented on July 23.
Which is today.
Ghana's cocoa farmers expect yield rebound in 2024-2025 crop season. And then the World Bank is touting Ghana's inflation fight mechanism.
Finally, for me, the graphic business. Banks' profit before tax surged to 49%, a function of accounting adjustments.
All right.
And then GBGI insurance fair begins tomorrow.
Right.
And on the back page of the graphic business, Rwanda's game plan, lessons for Ghana on leveraging sports for economic growth.
Finally, from me, the BNFT World Bank urges tax expenditure rationalization. Also on the front page, Newmont appoints a first Ghanaian MD for Africa. The name is Abdulrahman Amwedu. Also on the front page, ruling opens the door to re-energizing the oil and gas industry. It comes with a photograph of David Ampofo. And then also, the case has to do with the ENI and the Vitol case, which we discussed recently. And then Finance Minister seeks $12 billion in investment from Saudi Arabia.
Let's go online. City News, apart from the accident story, Bagbin proposes a cap on Supreme Court justices amid new nominations. Also withholds July salaries of CTAC staff. GTech tells controller. This is an interesting one to watch. Meanwhile, power deficiency is the key factor in Africa's low productivity, according to Awam Beng. And also on the same program, Africa needs education strategies to be more competitive. Now, if you go to Major Online, the budget story is where the lead from Finance Minister presents media. Nat stages walkout on Deputy Education Minister over one teacher, one laptop promise. They say it's failed. And then NDC targeting 32% of votes in Ashanti, according to Muntaka. And then lawmakers in Nigeria try to resolve rift between authorities and Africa's richest man. This is a story I spoke to you about yesterday. Indeed, the Premium Times is talking about a crucial meeting between the NNPC and Dangote over the refinery. So a big man in Africa is fighting for the right to refine oil produced in his own country. Africa is a funny country. If you go to a few more places, the interests are many. Star FM, Dampari thanks police officers for AU Summit security. Meanwhile, UGBS lecturer says Ghanaians won't tolerate any new taxes. Meanwhile, Guta is telling Ministry of Finance outline measures to stabilize the city. And of course, the Deputy Minister says no new taxes likely in this review that will be read today. So where do you want to start from this morning?
There's a story that I want to bring to your attention. There's something happening within the LPG space, and it looks like we are not so monitoring
What's
it so
going
much.
on?
Now, LPG marketers tussle with MPA over $400 million investment. They are denying opposition to CRM. Wisdom Johnny Nwekwe, writing for the BNFT Pay 2, says the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana has cautioned the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, not to compromise the nation's or the association's investment over $400 million in the country or the industry. Now, responding to a speech by the MP's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, at a ceremony held in Accra, the LPG marketers have debunked some remarks made by the MPA boss, describing the comments as unfair and derogatory, while calling for fair industry regulatory practices. Now, in a statement issued in Accra, the association said, quote, "The assertion that we oppose the cylinder recirculation model is categorically false," unquote. Now, the association's vice president, or Vice Chair Gabriel Kumi, explained that while marketers acknowledge the necessity for change through the CRM, such wholesale transitions come with significant costs, and the industry must be prepared to pay the cost of such changes. So, the government is rolling out this CRM thing.
Cylinder recirculation model.
The marketers say that there are key issues that have not been resolved.
Okay.
And that those issues have got to be addressed because they have invested in excess of $400 million within the sector. And this thing is similar to what's happening in Nigeria in a way.
Right.
Dangote versus the Nigerian people.
Meanwhile, in the budget review story, Professor Patrick Isuming is warning that Ghanaians won't tolerate any new taxes. Economist at the University of Ghana Business School, Patrick Isuming says Ghanaians will not tolerate any new taxes from government in the mid-year review. The Ministry of Finance is expected to present a mid-year statement to Parliament today. Speaking to Star News, the economist indicated that there are positive comments from the Ministry of Finance, such as no additional cash will be requested. And then, indeed, on that same website, there's a story that is attributed to the Deputy Minister who says no new taxes are likely. So, Dr. Alex Ampabin has hinted that the government will likely review downward this expenditure when the Finance Minister steps up to present the budget review today. Now, if you look at the data showing the fiscal deficit from 2000, you conclude that whenever there's an election year, there's overspending. But it says for the first time, this is not going to occur. Let's see how that happens. Let's continue with that.
Talking about taxes, the front page of the Daily Graphic says the Ministry of Finance is working with the GRA to clean up data on taxpayers to ensure that more people are roped into the tax net.
Right.
Data indicates that while there are 7.4 million eligible taxpayers, just around 1.91 million are active, while about 5.4 million are inactive taxpayers and the rest dormant. Now, Dr. Alex Ampabin, you mentioned his name. He was speaking at the launch of the 8th Ghana Economic Update put together by the World Bank. Now, the bank publishes the updates with the goal of stimulating public discussions on the issues. And for Dr. Ampabin, he said with the cleanup, accurate data on taxpayers could be accessed. And the digitalization of addresses could help link their details to the Ghana card.
In the meantime, though, the World Bank is urging us to rationalize our tax expenditure. So if you're interested in that story, go to page 3 of the BNFP for more.
Let me give you 2 labor stories. Withhold July salaries of TSTAC staff, according to
CTAG.
CTAG.
Okay.
So the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTAG, has directed the Controller and Accountant General's Department to withhold the July 2024 salaries of all teaching staff of colleges of education, excluding the college principals. This action is in response to the ongoing strike by CTAC members, which began in June this year. Now, the members are staging the strike in protest over the government's delay in implementing the arbitral award and negotiated service conditions. In a letter to the Accountant General dated July 22, GTAC said, at the instance of the Minister of Education on the non-adherence of CTAC members to call off an illegal strike from June this year, you are by this letter requested to stop the salaries of all teaching staff of the College of Education except for the college principals for July. By this letter, college principals are not to validate the July salaries of all teaching staff. In the meantime, the leadership of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association has issued a warning that it will oppose any unlawful attempt to freeze their salaries. So this is going to drag on for a long time. They've also pledged to escalate their incident until the arbitral award and negotiated service conditions are implemented. Now, we don't know what the Labour Commission has said. I haven't seen that in the story. Now, still on organized labour and the educational sector, this one says NAT stages walkout on Deputy Education Minister over failed one teacher, one laptop promise. So, in utter discontent over failed promises by the government, the National Council of Ghana National Association of Teachers staged a walkout on Deputy Minister Professor Kingsley Nyako and their national leadership for reneging on a promise to provide a laptop each to teachers across the country.
But now let's go to Parliament. The Speaker has sacked the Sekhiyoso MP from the House over some matters. And the Ghanaian Times has the story and says that the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, yesterday walked the Member of Parliament for the Sekhiyoso constituency, Dr. Kweku Efree, out of the House for disrespecting the Speaker. Now, the MP had questioned the Speaker's authority to suggest to the Appointments Committee areas it should consider for the approval of the House when it presents its report to the plenary on 2 new nominations to the Supreme Court by the President. Now, the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, as we do know, in a letter to the Speaker, indicated that he, the President, had nominated 2 justices to the Apex Court to continue the full to constitute the full complement of the court. Now, the nominees are Justice Sophia Rosetta Benasco Essa, a Court of Appeal judge, and Professor Richard Frimpong Opong, an academic. Now, the President said the nominations were on the advice of the Judicial Council under the signature of its chairman and Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono. Now, referring the nominations to the committee, the Speaker said there was the need for a national dialogue on what constitutes full complement and whether or not there should be a cap on the number of justices on the Supreme Court bench. Now, the Member of Parliament was not happy with those comments. He made a comment saying that it did not lie in the mouth of the Speaker to make that kind of give that kind of directive, and the Speaker was not happy. And
I heard your point. You said both of them could have done better. Let's come to Daily Guide.
Well, if you go to the Daily Guide, page 3, you have Wichita Paramount Chief saying that they will give their vote to Dr. Baumia. And the chiefs and people of Wichita in the Upper West, in the Wild West constituency of the Upper West region, have promised to vote this time for the candidates of the NPP due to the party's sustained commitment to the development of the area over the years. According to the chief, the NPP's flag bearer, Dr. Baumia's decision to formally announce to us as your parents that you are vying for the position of the President of Ghana, end quote, is further evidence of Dr. Baumia's respect for traditional institutions.
Let's stay within the MPP. Page 2 of the Chronicle has a very interesting story. Group petitions MPP over demolition of financiers' house. Benis Besse reporting this morning says concerned members of the New Patriotic Party have called upon the party leadership and the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu to intervene in the ongoing dispute between George Oti Bonsu and Abu Ramadan. Now, George Oti Bonsu is a prominent financier of the MPP, whilst Abu Ramadan is closely related to the wife of the party's 2024 flag bearer, Samira Baumia. Now, in 2 separate petitions dated July 10, 2024 and July 20, 2024, addressed to the MPP National Executives and the National Chief Imam, respectively, the group requested for a peaceful resolution of the impasse and highlighted the pivotal roles played by Oti Bonsu and Abu Ramadan in the party. Apparently, it has to do with the demolition of the home of the said George Oti Bonsu. And it looks like so.
Where's the house?
Somewhere in the story.
Okay, if you can't find it, okay. Let me take you to Power Stories. Now, this is on GNA. It says African energy experts are calling for diversification.
It's in Nigeria, no? Accra.
It's close to home.
So it said the dispute responsibly reportedly stems from a demolition exercise on April 7, 2024, which affected several buildings owned by George Oti Bonsu in Nigeria, no? Accra. Mr. Bonsu alleged that one Hajia Aisha Abmen, who is also claiming ownership of the land, brought Max military men to demolish the story building on the land, totaling approximately $3.5 million.
Are you kidding me?
It's a serious matter.
Was there a court order?
Well, on the facts, we are not, too much assured of that.
We have to keep an eye on the story.
Yeah,
now,
that's right.
Energy experts are calling for diversification of energy sources. GNA reports that Dr. Ali Bukar Ahmad, chairperson of ECOWAS Regional Electricity Regulatory Authority, ERERA, Consultative Committee on Operators, has called for diversification of energy sources to ensure power security. He said the continent was heavily dependent on gas and needed to explore renewable energy sources such as hydro, coal, and others to address sector challenges. Now, the forum was on the theme electricity trade security in the ECOWAS region, the interplay between national policies and free market principles. Dr. Ahmad said there was an increasing demand for energy transition across Africa and that authorities needed to implement strategies to meet the demand of its rising population. Now, staying with power, the Point of View yesterday interviewed 2 men on Africa's development, and founder and managing partner of Premier Invest, Rene Awambeng, has underscored the significant role of power deficiency in hindering Africa's productivity. He points out that the absence of reliable electricity supply stunts industrial growth, restricts business operations, and negatively impacts the continent's overall economic development. So he says we should prioritize the issue of power, not political power, but energy to power our development. And he says, can we quantify the impact which Morocco's excess power production has had on driving the impetus of that country? Morocco has the right strategy around power generation, production, distribution, and renewables. So we cannot talk about productivity when we have not addressed the key issue of power, he said in the interview.
Bernard, you remember some time ago you said that for a nation to actually do well, you need security in two areas, food and energy, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you go to page 7 of the Business Analyst, there's a brilliant article there.
Give me highlights.
Talking about why tomato prices skyrocket every June.
Really?
Yes, a seasonal phenomenon explained.
So every June, tomato prices go up.
Exactly. So please, if you are ready or interested in this particular article, go to page 7 of the Business Analyst. It's beautiful explanation.
Well, let me give you the road accident story. National Road Safety Authority has disclosed that approximately 7,600 people died from road crashes between January and June this year. According to the authority, many of these fatalities resulted from wrongful overtaking and drivers' failure to observe traffic signs. Pel Adusu Satekla, head of public relations of the NRSA, described the situation as worrying. Now, it says the contributory factor might be a result of head-on collision as a result of wrongful overtaking or speeding. Research has shown that about 90% of drivers plying our roads do not adhere to speed limits in the country. When the speed is high, the severity of the crash is much worse. The head of PR at NRSA said in a statement, the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport called on government to urgently constitute a committee to thoroughly investigate the entire chain of events leading to recent road accidents and make its findings public.
Bernard, the institutions that deal with this space must do their part. If you go to page 3 of the Ghanaian Times, there's a beautiful story there. Driver barred from using road. A driver, Al-Hassan Sani, has been barred from using the road till July 5, 2025 by the magistrate, court in Hohwe. Now, Sani was convicted on a plea of guilty to the charges of failing to comply with traffic signs, driving without a license, use of a vehicle without insurance, and a road use certificate. Yes. The court, presided over by Madame Comfort A. Apaline, also imposed a fine of 1,800 Ghana cedis on Sani. Now, Chief Inspector Charles Aziati, prosecuting, said that although Sani was not known, the disregard for road regulations was unacceptable, and asked the court to sentence him to serve a deterrent to other drivers. If all the courts are getting these matters disposed quickly and imposing, it will help.
Let's come to the graphic back page, Nathan.
Well, the back page says atomic flyover expansion joints exposed.
Very, very troubling.
The story is written by Emmanuel Boni, and it says the coverings of the expansion joints on the Atomic Junction flyover have come off, creating discomfort and fear when driving on that part of the stretch. This is because of the sounds that the tires of vehicles make when they pass over the joints on the flyover situated on the Legon Medina Road.
Okay.
Coverings of the expansion joints are meant to ensure a smooth service of the bridge for the movement of vehicles. And so it goes on to say that during a visit to the flyover last Friday, it was noticed that despite the bitumen that was used to fill some of the joints, a couple of them were still exposed. And as vehicles used the flyover, one could hear the sound of their tires bumping into the gaps. Now, the story goes on to say, when contacted, the head of public affairs at the Ghana Highway Authority, Sesoni Obodai Wentum, said the division in charge of bridges was aware of the situation and that plans were in place to address the problem and renovate others as well.
Plans. Anyway, Bernard, you see, when you're going towards the 37 roundabout,
yes,
the road has become so undulating.
37 roundabout.
Yes,
37 doesn't have a roundabout.
Oh yeah, no, there's a roundabout there. There's a name for it.
Square about.
No, there's
that's it.
Yeah, the statue.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the statue is even.
The road has
rotting.
become quite bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, after the Jubilee House.
Yes, from the Jubilee House when you're using that stretch, it's horrible. I don't know what the authorities are doing about it. It is causing accidents. So please go and fix it.
There's a story here that I find quite interesting. MTN Ghana addresses public outcry over high data costs. Now, Citi News is reporting that when the Parliamentary Select Committee on Communication visited MTN, the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer cited regulatory measures intended to foster competition and make public interest considerations as a reason. Okay. Quote, I believe the NCA has addressed the subject as to why we have some of the data pricing we have. They also have talked about how low our prices are in the sub-region. He further explained that they talked about the declaration of MTN Ghana as an SMP, which means that our data prices have to be higher than our competitors. So basically, they are hiding under the SMP thing to say that the prices have to be high. So the NCA itself needs to become clean. And I think the Chamber of Telcos also needs to talk to us about how the pricing is done. Let's go to the US. Kamala Harris wins enough support to clinch Democratic nomination is the lead story on all the websites. Bloomberg, BBC, everywhere else.
They should open the thing up so that everybody.
Vice President Kamala Harris has attracted the support of enough Democratic delegates to become the party's nominee for president. The BBC understands, according to its partner CBS News. A survey by the Associated Press on Monday evening said Ms. Harris had received the endorsement of more than 1,976 delegates needed to win the nomination of the first round.
No.
Ms. Harris said she was proud to have secured broad support and look forward to formally accept the nomination.
They should open the thing up. They should open it up. 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 In the meantime, Bernard, I think our MPs need to watch the sittings of the committee
the House, the
investigating the shooting of President Trump. We have
this is the House of Representatives.
Exactly. We have
it was
a
about
lot,
2.5 hours.
Yes, we have a lot to learn.
I'm telling you, my brother.
In terms of the rigor,
Charlie?
the order,
Charlie?
the kind of work that goes into what ultimately is delivered.
And how they take their parliament serious. We'll be right back. This is Citi Breakfast Show. Stay with us.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh you go work, but you know it's out your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, cause you know it's out your side. And when you dream, no say I live by you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I live by you. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Citi Business News with Nashika Caesar. Brought to us by Access Bank, Goyle, and MTN. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Coming up, Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam to present mid-year budget review to Parliament later today. Ahead of that, we'll bring you a wrap of some of the expectations of industry players. Also coming up, telecommunications giant MTN Ghana addresses growing public outage over exorbitant cost of internet data in the country. And later, National Petroleum Authority refutes claims it is impeding the operations of LPG marketers in the implementation of the cylinder recirculation model. Details of our stories now. Barring any last-minute hitches, Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam will later today present the government mid-year budget review to Parliament. The presentation is expected to update Ghanaians on the progress made in implementing the 2024 budget and outline fiscal measures for the second half of the year. Stakeholders are also keen on hearing about initiatives to support key sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing and services, as well as plans for debt management and fiscal sustainability. In the following report, Citi Business News chronicles the expectations of some industry players on areas for effective budgetary measures to bolster confidence in the economy and drive sustainable growth.
This will be Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam's first presentation since his assumption into office. Citi Business News understands that there will be revisions of government macroeconomic targets based on the strong stabilization the country has witnessed to reflect improvement in the economy. In addition, today's mid-year budget will provide updates on growth measures, revenue expenditure, debt payments, among others. For some economists, government should use the mid-year budget to outline the plans for Ghana's exit from the IMF program. Professor Patrick Esumin explains why.
I wish that the finance minister will tell us what the roadmap is beyond the current IMF program. There's not been much communication in terms of where we are going with that, aside telling us that the economy is recovering or we are turning the corner. We know the IMF program, best case scenario, allow us to attain some stability, but we need to move beyond that. We need to build the economy. We need to ensure that the economy is a lot more robust than it has been.
With little expectation for tax reductions or new tax introductions due to the existing business burden, businesses can, however, brace themselves up for stability in tax policies. Francis Timoboy is a tax consultant.
Give or take, we shouldn't expect any new taxes. At least let's maintain the current taxes will be maintained, and we should expect more enforcement of the existing taxes. It is true that government needs money, especially looking at the expenditure relating to elections. But any attempt to introduce new taxes may be costly for them politically, and also I think businesses may not be happy with any additional tax that may be introduced.
On the energy side of things, analysts are hopeful government will address issues regarding rising cost of fuel and recurrent power outages. Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, Duncan Amoah, has been speaking to Citi Business News.
We need a certain focus, a certain strategic focus as a country through a deliberate budgetary allocation towards particularly solar. Once this is done, you will be freeing the pressure that you have on your power sector. There's power availability today. There's power affordability. A lot of Ghanaians are still complaining. But as to whether we have sustainability, the numbers within the industry do not support this.
Players within the agricultural sector will also be expecting some significant reviews that will grow the sector. General Secretary of GAU, Edward Kare, says this is crucial, especially now that the prices of food continue to surge.
What is the use of the plan for food and jobs phase 2 when the outcomes in the market is showing? Look, today when you now go to the market and you look at a bunch of plantain, they now write the price on it, on the stock. It means it's now also becoming fixed price. So no room for negotiations. Get it in the budget. But even when it comes to disbursement, they don't disburse it. The little that has even been provided for in the budget for agriculture, it's not disbursed. There's one thing, you have the allocation in the budget. There's another thing, disbursing the money, and disbursing the money at the time that it is needed.
Nilati Lati with that report. Now, telecommunications giant MTN Ghana has responded to growing public concerns about the high cost of internet data, which has been affecting businesses and sparking outrage on social media. The controversy has led to many calls for the dissolution of the National Communications Authority (NCA) board, citing the high cost of data and unreliable data supply. Some attribute these issues to MTN Ghana's designation as a significant market power SMP. Addressing these concerns during a visit by the Parliamentary Select Committee on Communications, MTN Ghana's Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer cited regulatory measures intended to foster competition amid public interest considerations.
I think today the NCA has released a press release that talks about the reasons why we have some of the data pricing that we have. They have even talked about how the fact that when it comes to even data pricing in the sub-region and in Africa, we are among the lowest priced when it comes to data. And also talked about the S&P declaration of MTN as significant market player, which means that we have our data prices have to be higher than our competitors. And I think the NCA has come out to explain that there was a reason why we have the data structure the way it is, and that is to improve on competition. And so those are some public interest reasons why.
That was the Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer of MTN Ghana, Ajua Yafi, speaking there. Still on the issue of data costs, the National Communication Authority's declaration of MTN Ghana as a significant market power aimed to foster fair competition and project consumer choice has once again come into focus owing to concerns about data cost. However, industry experts, including telecom analyst Fauj Shalabi, argue that the application of S&P regulations on MTN Ghana has not yielded the desired results.
The declaration of MTN Ghana as a significant market power by the National Communications Authority (NCA) was intended to ensure a level playing field for industry sector players and protect consumer choice. The regulator has previously explained that when an operator attains a significant market share and dominance, it can negatively impact competition, leading to higher prices, lower quality of service, and reduced innovation. The S&P designation allows the NCA to impose specific regulations and measures on MTN to prevent abuse of its market power and ensure fair competition. For instance, in April last year, the telecommunications company suspended its widely received data zone bundle due to a review of bundle offer in line with the significant market power directives applied to MTN Ghana in June 2020. The regulator justified the suspension, stating that MTN Ghana's data zone services offered the lowest data price among competitors, thereby breaching the significant market power regulations. Amidst the uproar over data pricing, the S&P directive has come into sharp focus. Telecom analyst Fuad Chalabi tells Citi Business News that the S&P directive applied to MTN is not yielding the desired impact as smaller mobile network operators have failed to capitalize on it.
I think due to a lack of investment by the other operators. The issue is that MTN have seen opportunity and they seize the opportunity by investing and growing their network and make everything necessary to capture the market. Unfortunately, other operators, they didn't do the same. Even I believe as of we are today, there is room for competition. If the existing company, they do a good rollover and they invest in their market to improve data.
Telecom analyst Fuad Shalabi ending that report. Now, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has refuted claims that it is impeding the operations of LPG marketers in the implementation of the cylinder recirculation model, CRM. The LPG marketers say their request to mount cages in all LPG stations across the country to support the policy by distributing CRM cylinders, among other demands, was vehemently turned down by the NPA. However, the CEO of the NPA, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, maintains that, contrary to the concerns of the LPG marketing companies, the government has been helpful by creating an enabling environment for them to thrive.
CRM has come. We are very supportive of them. A lot of them, they have facilities that are very, maybe 2 years, 3 years old and so on. We've been kind enough to grant them up to 5 years to operate and recoup their interest or their profits before we completely roll over into CRM. So the government is not insensitive to their businesses at all. There is no animosity as far as I'm concerned.
That was the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, speaking there. Now, economic watchers are projecting that the Bank of Ghana will stay the monetary policy rate for the month of July 2024. The Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, of the Bank of Ghana will hold its 119th regular meetings today to review development in the economy. The central bank in May 2024 maintained its monetary policy rate at 29%. Professor Patrick Isumin is an economist and senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, and he's been speaking ahead of the policy announcement today.
you definitely don't expect the central bank to respond to such a marginal reduction in inflation by cutting the policy rate. There's a sense that some of the excess liquidity that's been in the system are still hovering. At the same time, I think the monetary policy rate is currently at historic high. So I would expect that the central bank will keep watching the economy and, to see a more sustainable path. I think if the currency continues to be weak, then you see probably a leaning towards the rise. But I don't really see that happening right now. I think that we should expect that the policy rate will be kept at this current sitting.
Professor Patrick Isumin is an economist and senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Away from that, business owners and company officials in the country have until September 30, 2024 to file their annual returns and renewals. According to the ORC, this extension aims to facilitate a smoother compliance process and promote transparency under the Companies Act 2019, Act 992. In a statement issued on Monday, the ORC highlighted the necessity of this extension, saying it is to accommodate businesses that were in the process of filing but faced challenges due to the recent nationwide strike by labor unions, which affected service delivery. To date, only 6,760 out of the 530,000 registered sole proprietorships have renewed their business names. Additionally, 8,890 companies out of a sample total of 10,734 are yet to file their annual returns. The ORC, however, warned that companies failing to comply could face severe penalties. To some other stories, stakeholders in the financial sector are calling for strategic positioning of banking systems across the continent to drive economic growth. Renee Awabeng, founder and managing partner at Premier Invest, emphasized that the current challenges facing local economies demand urgent rationalization of the financial landscape. In an interview on The Point of View on Channel 1 TV, Renee Awabeng suggested compelling solutions to ensure financial institutions are fully developed to withstand global shocks.
So we need to drive savings, which is what I call resource mobilization. We need to drive strengthening of capital of banks. The first thing is that only until recently have our central banks reinforced that notion that bank capital base must go up. Before, because financial institutions were largely owned by single individuals or by politicians who influence policy, the threshold capitalization of financial institutions was very low, which means that their capacity to intermediate was also very, very not.
That was the founder and managing partner at Premier Invest, Renee Awabeng, speaking there. Now on the forex market today, the dollar could be sold to you at 15 cedis, 80 pesos. The pound is selling at 20 cedis, 50 pesos, and the euro is going for 17 cedis, 50 pesos. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and Access Bank. My name is Nashika Caesar. Do have a great business day.
Beautiful people, we are live in town, soaking in the excitement about the partnership between Access Bank and PABS, revolutionizing the way people move money across Africa. Let's hear directly from those reaping the benefits.
It's a relief. Anytime I send money back home, my family receives exactly what I send them, instantly.
I'm studying in Ghana, but originally from Nigeria. With this service, my parents send my school and hostel fees directly, and they do it with so much ease.
I run a fashion business. Let me tell you, sending and receiving money across Africa without those annoying forex fees has really cut down our operational costs.
Benefit from instant payments across Africa with zero foreign exchange hassle. Visit our website www.ghana.accessbankplc.com or call our toll free on 0800 004400 for all your cross-border payments.
Pass it with Access Bank.
Access Bank, more than banking.
Hey, managing a business is not easy. I mean, all the beyond boss or CEO, entrepreneur, it takes hard work and a whole lot of please come and buy, please come and buy. I'm getting tired, though. I care about my business, but this stress and sleepless nights. Hey!
Dentina, Uncle MTN SME month nubi. Yes, yeah, fine pound. See, Bra Enoch, who sells electronics on our junction, he participated last year and he got a lot of expert advice and some tech things be that has made running his business very easy.
Because it's like he's not part of us.
It's time to take your business to the next level with modern tools and solutions designed with you in mind. Join MTN Business this July in Accra and Kumasi as we partner with SMEs for growth. Visit mtn.com.gh/business or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111 for inquiries. MTN.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Kickoff is next, and it's brought to us by Lesheho and Shell. So we're going straight into the segment, and I have the man Gabi Ofe with the details.
Yes, Tuesday morning. Welcome aboard. Time now for the very latest in the world of sports. My name is Gabi Ofe. Coming up in the next 10 minutes.
We could have based on the what we achieved in Tokyo to qualify any of the boxes for the Olympics.
Well, Tokyo 2020 will be remembered for Samuel Fechi's exploit at the Olympic Games, but this year's event will have no representation of Ghanaian boxers in Paris. More from George Lamte, who is a former Ghana Boxing Federation president, plus on the blue side of Manchester.
The squad is long enough. If someone leave, we are going to talk about that. Of course, until the last day we have chances. I don't rule it out, the option to have any new players, but
all right, so that's Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola confirming Kevin De Bruyne will not leave the club for Saudi Arabia this summer. There's more from the City boss, plus some updates from the 2024 Olympic Games in France. All right, let's start with boxing this morning. The former president of the Ghana Boxing Federation, George Lamte, feels that the country missed an opportunity to build on its achievement from the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. Now, Samuel Fechi, who won Ghana's sole boxing medal 4 years ago, will not be representing the country in boxing at this year's Olympics, which starts on Friday. Now, Fechi, together with 10 other boxers, all failed to qualify despite 3 attempts in Senegal, Thailand, and Italy.
We could have based on the what we achieved in Tokyo to qualify any of the boxes for the Olympics. Because as it stands now, we camp at Royal Dede Hotel. As we now, we still owe him. So a way forward, if the previous administration have also gone the extra mile of engaging people, the same engagement was 2 months because you just left your seat. You don't want to criticize. You want to, That's also. I'm also hoping we could have partnered all together because I was thinking after the election, I told them that I'm always there for them, if anything. It's like I don't want to, it's like you have left the scene. You don't want to enforce yourself into them. But if they have consulted much, I could have also been a help because though I left the president, as at now, I'm an international technical official for IBA. So at least the do's and don'ts, what the bosses need to do, what the coaches need to do, at least I'm a little ahead now. So I think the next forward is for us to build collaboration. Though I have a smooth relationship with the Ghana Boxing Federation, I have a smooth relationship, but in terms of certainties, they need to sit down together, work out things very well because I realized there was not unity among the executives.
All right, so that's Judge Lamte. He's the former Ghana Boxing Federation president speaking to City Sports there. Let's do some club football news. And Hearts of Oak and Hearts of Lions are set to face off in the 2024 Basic Manche Homowa Peace Charity Cup. The annual friendly match is held to celebrate the Homowa Festival, and the upcoming game will feature both teams who participated in the Ghana Premier League during the 2023-24 season, with a game set to take place at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday, August 11. Well, all the way in Cape Coast, Ghana's Black Princesses are joining up for The under-20 Women's World Cup in Colombia. They will compete in Group E against Japan, New Zealand and Austria when the tournament begins on August 31. Now, despite achieving a 7th consecutive appearance at the tournament, the Princesses have never advanced beyond the group stage. Here's what coach Yusuf Bazigi had to say about that bad run.
In my case, I'll say that it was unfortunate the time that we went for the World Cup 2018. That was the time of the expose, normalization, so things were not normalized as we went there. But I wouldn't say that it's an excuse though. This time around, we are motivated to go again and make a mark because we are all looking forward to breaking that jinx. So we've made the girls aware, just as we, the technical staff, are also aware. So we don't need anybody to task us to do that job. We know how difficult it is. It's not by saying that it's a very Herculean task, but we'll do all that we can to go beyond the group stage before we think of any other.
So that's Yusuf Bazigi. He's the head coach for Ghana's Black Princesses. They are currently holding their training session in Cape Coast and will leave for Colombia for the Women's Under-20 Women's World Cup, which kicks off on August 31. So all the best to them. Well, away from women's football, Black Stars and Los Angeles Galaxy winger Joseph Pinto is maintaining a positive attitude despite having missed several games due to an hamstring injury. Now, following 3-2 victory over the Portland Timbers in the Major League Soccer, Pinto discussed his injury in a post-game interview. He expressed optimism after contributing significantly to win by scoring a goal and providing 2 assists.
Yeah, I think the injury that I had teach me a little bit lesson because then I needed to also just relax myself because I was playing a whole lot of game, almost a half season in Genk, and I just came to continue on the following season here. So I think it has also really helped me with the rest. Because if not, then my body will be really down, and maybe I can get multiples of injuries. But I think the hamstring also helped me to recover and just came back faster. And yeah, I'm really good. The level I am now, I'm trying to come back to wherever I am in the level that I am. So it's really important for me to go by one game by the other.
All right, so that's Black Stars and Los Angeles Galaxy winger Joseph Pinto speaking. We take you to Old Trafford and Manchester United's Lenny Euro says he had a helping hand from legendary defender Rio Ferdinand and persuading him to join the Red Devils. Ferdinand sent Euro a social media message welcoming him to Old Trafford, and speaking to in-house club media, the 18-year-old Euro explained that the former England star had already adopted a more direct approach.
It was like 2 weeks ago. He called me. So first of all, I was really impressive to speak with him. And yeah, we spoke like 10 minutes about Man United. So he helped me a lot to make my choice. It was really an honor to speak with him.
And what did he say in those first 10 minutes when he spoke? Mainly about the club, what it's like?
Yeah, he spoke to me about the club. Then this is a historic club with a big story. And if I go there, I need to fight for the club, to be ready, because this is the biggest club in the world. So yeah, for me it was really good to speak about this. And yeah.
All right, we take you to the blue side of Manchester, and the City boss Pep Guardiola has confirmed that Kevin De Bruyne would not leave Manchester City for Saudi Arabia. This time after growing speculation linking both the Belgian and goalkeeper Ederson Moraes to leave the club. But here's what Pep said about the Belgian.
I don't know what's going to happen in the market, but the squad is long enough. If someone leaves, we are going to talk about that. Of course, until the last day we have chances. I don't rule it out, the option to have any new players, but if anyone leaves, I think 95% will have the same squad.
It seems like you're probably a little bit more relaxed than you were a few years ago, because when you were saying that you need to shake a move and there needs a refresh and things like that, but it doesn't seem like that this time.
I don't know when I said that. We got to refresh my mind after 8 years together. I don't know when I said that. I think I was clear. I remember perfectly the first season that I think a really, really good season 8 years ago. But we are a whole team. and we have a new energy, and after we make important impact in the market.
And so that's City boss Pep Guardiola speaking there. We touch on some transfers, and Aston Villa have completed a $50 million deal for midfielder Amadou Onana from Everton. Unai Emery is further strengthening his squad ahead of Aston Villa's Champions League campaign. Onana made 72 appearances for Everton, including 37 last season in all competitions, after joining from Lille for £30 million in 2022. Well, Shea Adams has also completed his move to Torino. Now, the striker left the Saints after his contract expired. Now, to this end, we head to France and the 2024 Paris Olympic Games start in 3 days. And in a totally unique event, the opening ceremony for the Games will be held along the Seine River, marking the first time that the ceremony has not taken place inside the stadium. Here's French journalist Geraint Hughes explaining the security procedures that are in place for the Games.
The visibility of the police and the security forces on the ground is enormous. I have just spoken within the last hour or so to a security analyst here in Paris from a company called International SOS who manage security risk. 45,000 security personnel are going to be on duty on Friday night, and then every day of the Olympic Games, 30,000 either police security forces, and that's in addition to 85 countries from around the world who are providing intelligence on the ground with their personnel as well.
All right, so 45,000 security personnel will be on duty at the opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, and 30,000 each day at the Olympics. There's more later in our subsequent bulletins. For more sport stories, you can head to citysportsonline.com and on X, also known as Twitter, at CitySportsJJ. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Shell, Lachelle, and Zonda. My name is Gabi. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care, and bye-bye.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, come to Let's go. No matter your situation, come to Let's go. Let's go, we improve your life. Let's go, hey, let's go, hey, let's go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's go, we improve your life.
It's not just a service station. It's a place you get more for every visit. It's not just a place to fill your tank. It's a place to fulfill your cravings. From chicken to chocolate, caramel, or the tasty latte. It's not just a place to service your car. It's the perfect place to wash your ride. It's a place where convenience, love, friendship, joy, and laughter assemble. Because it all starts at Shell. Visit Shell today and enjoy a wide array of services and offers under one roof. It starts at Shell.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
After tasting 10 cedis worth of Abochi's kebab, you finally decide to buy some.
Abochi, add more pepper.
He wraps it up and you take it home. Just when you're about to dig in, you see your name in bold Times New Roman font size 14 on the paper. And that's when you realize it's the CV you submitted for a job last week. The job market is changing rapidly. AI, clouds, holograms. Who knows what's next? Over 34 million Ghanaians. What makes you stand out? Get the X Factor to get ahead with tech courses from ALX. Choose AWS Cloud Computing, Salesforce Administration, Data Analytics, Data Science, Front-End Web Development, Back-End Web Development, or AI Career Essentials. Search ALX Ghana online to apply now. ALX. Do hard things.
Why do you allow cough, cold, and flu to ruin your happiness? You need Samalin cough syrup. Samalin cough syrup will relieve you and your family from coughs, cold, and flu. Samalin offers a whole range that provides relief for the entire family. Insist on your Samalin in pharmacies and over-the-counter medicine sellers. Samalin cough syrup from Danex IT Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
I am Ohinere Gifty Auntie. You see, it always feels good when you receive that salary alert. I made a bold decision to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan. And this means that I will get these alerts every month throughout retirement for the rest of my life. You too can retire on your own terms. So invest a lump sum in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit oldmutual.com.gh to sign up today. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
7:36 Citi Breakfast Show. Kickoff was brought to us by Lesheho. Our fixed deposit solution is the path to building wealth the right way. Don't settle for average returns. Join the investment revolution with our fixed deposit solution and take charge of your financial future. Call 027-004-0799 or send WhatsApp to 027-004-0733. Lesheho, let's improve life. Also brought to you by Shell. Good time start at Shell, where you can fill up on more than just fuel. You can fill up on love, laughter, and sumptuous bites and treats from our partner vendors. While you're enjoying yourself with your family and friends, your car also gets the love it deserves at the Shell service station and wash bay. It's one roof for everything. Visit Shell today. Access Bank sponsored the business news. Book your flight with Emirates, South African Air, Air Peace, or Africa World Airlines through Access Bank. Pay for your Qatar Airways flights with your Access Bank Visa card and enjoy up to 12% off. Visit africa.visa.com to register or call 0800 0044400. Access Bank, more than banking. And Gol has hit the road with exciting choices to energize your vehicle, giving you more options to take you further. Watch this space for your choice. Gol, yeah, dear. And if you are a small to medium-sized business looking to manage communications cost-effectively, MTN SME Plus offers flexible prepaid packages, classic, super, or premium, that include talk time, SMS, data, and voice services. Enjoy free on-net calls every Monday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Dial star 5060 has to subscribe. Let's get business done better. That's MTN. Today is the 23rd day of July and it's the birthday of a number of people. So happy birthday to Mr. Eric Sewonu Adadevo, Chief Human Resource Officer at 80, formerly Airtel Tigo. The commitment to excellence and ability to steer everyone towards success is invaluable. From the communication unit at 80, Benjamin, Felicia, and Sandra wishing Mr. Eric Sewonu a happy birthday. Happy birthday to Mami Kunedu Bafuwa of Finance Department and Janet Ejekumhini of the Tax and Regulatory Department of Deloitte. Belated birthday to Angela Asiedu of the Tax and Regulatory Department, from your country managing partner Daniel Kojo Owusu and the entire staff of Deloitte. Wishing Kate Addo, Director of Communications at the Parliament of Ghana, a joyous happy birthday. Wishing her Godspeed and blessings from Na Lamle Bentel, General Secretary of the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry. Hey, Na Lamle General Secretary of the Chamber of Construction Industry. Wow. Na Lamle was a writer for the Graphic.
I see.
Now she's the General Secretary of the Chamber of Construction Industry.
Thank you.
Hey, Happy birthday to Bridgetta Makafu Ametepe. You are with Millennium Insurance. It's such a joy to have you celebrate your birthday today. Coming from Mama, from Etonam, from myself, the family, the kids, to Auntie Makafui, Bridgetta of Millennium Insurance. Belated birthday wishes to Joseph Akainete, General Manager of Van Villiers Automobile Ghana Limited. God bless your new age. May you live to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And to Kelvin Oforiata of Coop Bay, Ghana. May the years ahead be better, filled with God's abundant blessings and good health, warmth and strength. And to Ethel Bedu Ado, may your day be filled with joy and happiness. From Pastor Douglas and Mrs. Esuya. So many birthdays today, people. To my son, Wisdom Bueno Pupulampo of Achimota Basic School. Happy birthday. You turn 8 years today. I wish you heavenly blessings and divine grace. From your father, Wisdom Pupulampo of the Minerals Commission. To Wisdom Bueno Pupulampo. And of course, happy birthday to Joseph Akai Nete, General Manager of Van Villiers Automobile. So one of the things we try and do on the program is while we bring you the big ticket items like elections are coming, issues on parliament, there are also some things that irrespective of elections have to be addressed. Which is why every now and again we come back to the basic issues of roads, basic issues of sanitation, street lights. So we have to balance the big and the small, because in fact it's the small that work together to create the big. So yes, there's a huge budget reading. I'm not sure it's that big anyway because it's almost I don't even think they'll ask for any more money.
No.
So it's not really a supplementary budget. It's just a mid-year review. So it's not really such a big deal.
Yeah.
We'll bring the coverage to them anyway. But I think there are a few other issues
Bernard,
are coming
Bernard,
up. Yes.
good morning.
Morning.
So, who is there? When I was younger, collection of refuse. Like we got into this thing where with Chenche, they divided Accra into zones and whatnot. It was a bit regular, and then it got irregular. We know the politics around this. Sometimes they're unable to pay. But the thing is, these days you can go 2-3 weeks.
Which area is this?
Generally everywhere, Bernard.
Because I raised this a month or two ago, and somehow the complaints reduced. So maybe it's come back.
And I also want to understand the link between them and the Aboboya collectors. Are they still legal, or are they still illegal? Because I don't think they've ever been legal.
So the Aboboya, the main issue with Aboboya was that Henry Kote was trying to say that they should not
be on the motorway.
Yes, so that they would send their waste to the smaller waste collection points.
Okay.
So there are two roads. They'll do the last mile. So if you go to a place like Aloboshi, where Caleb did a great story. Yeah, where the large trucks cannot enter the corners. So these vehicles will go there and then bring the refuse and then transfer it at a waste transfer site. But what tends to happen is that these people sometimes they operate. It's not coordinated. It's not coordinated.
So do they operate under the Ministry of Sanitation? Do they operate under the municipal assemblies? How do they operate? Who pays them? I know I pay them when they come for mine sometimes. But how are they organized?
What I know is that the region or the towns or the communities are allocated to different waste management companies.
Who then allocated to the Aboboyas?
No. So let me start. So Zoom Lion, maybe Jakora, Honest, Amania Farms and all these guys will have J Stanley, whatever. They have different allocations.
Okay.
Now, some of the bigger guys are supposed to work with these small guys. So generally, a Jakora may work with a smaller guy who will bring the waste to them. But what we are told is that some of the big boys are now even investing in smaller Aboboyas.
Okay.
So it's actually a very fluid situation now. So the arrangement was supposed to be that for the last mile, the Aboboyas will go and then they will collect the refuse and bring it to a central point. Then the large trucks will carry it.
Within the designated allotment for that company?
On paper. So let's assume you are talking Latebio Koshi down Soman Banana E.
Okay.
So if there's a main waste transfer site at, say, I don't know where it is, in that Accra West Enclave, these small guys will carry the waste and send it there. Then the bigger guys will do separation and send it to their main place.
But here's the situation. When the guy comes, I pay the guy 30 cedis.
Yes.
So when the guy goes there,
he also pays.
He also pays to the big company?
Yes, it's a tipping fee. He has to pay. So, but then the profit is in the value in the chain.
And then the big one takes it where?
So what I was told and what we've seen is that they take it to a transit point where they do waste segregation. So this waste transit point, they'll segregate plastics from metals, from whatever. They'll send the plastics to a recycling plant. They'll send the compost to a compost plant, and then they'll send the rest to a dump site near in Sawam.
Okay.
Now the dump site is at in Sawam. Now the problem in Sawam is that there's a road construction going on there. So even the journey there becomes an issue.
Okay.
So it's the big trucks that are supposed to go there. So because the Tema waste, the one that used to be at Pony is no longer working. So these guys don't even cross the motorway at all.
Yeah.
So they are supposed to send this to the big guys who will then send it to the main station.
The reason why I'm raising this is Accra is very dirty.
Still?
Has it gotten clean in my absence? Did it get clean at a point?
Depends on which part of Accra you pass through.
Which part? Which part of Accra have you passed through that you consider clean? By which standard?
I came from. Okay, so generally speaking, Legon is clean.
Okay.
So when you are from Atomic Junction, Legon, Shashi, Okpongolo, it's a very clean place.
It's decent.
Then when you get to Airport Residential, it's not that bad. When you use George Walker Bush coming to Tesano, generally it's okay. But when you enter the Lungus, then it becomes bad.
I don't even think you need to enter the Lungus, Bernard. Accra is dirty. Let's not mince
But
words.
you live at Dansoma. I live at the other side.
Yes.
So I think your part is dirtier than my part.
Perhaps, but the point is, I'm using the opportunity you've given me to express my dissatisfaction with those in charge of sanitation generally. I think that for a ministry whose main agenda was to turn the capital clean, and the thing is, this is not even just Accra. If those in Kumasi are complaining as well, okay. We do not seem to have had progress in our handling of waste, and how we don't also seem to have improved the system of keeping our surroundings clean. And by that I mean even the process of the authorities engaging locals to participate. So it comes down to a situation where we now have, perhaps, like some would say, the most effective, and that would be unfair because they are pretty small, but
the bus stop
yeah, people think that, okay, if there's a place to be clean, get the bus stop boys. You understand? We are a group of volunteers who go around and who because of the good job that they do, end up getting they are getting interest, they are getting some funds. Once in a while, people make donations to help with their activities. But my point is, why would there be a need for? Because here's the thing: the bus stop boys would have been okay, and I'm saying, like, I'm choosing my words carefully here. Once in a we can all be bus stop boys where we live,
but it's not a sustainable solution.
Exactly. We can all be bus stop boys. I think the big lesson for us is Sky can be a bus stop boy in Kuntunse. I can be a bus stop boy in Dansuman. You can be a bus stop boy wherever it is you live. Nathan as well, Caleb as well. Everybody can be a bus stop boy. But the point, the concern for me is, it's like the authorities have come to the point where, like, yeah, let them do what they want to do. You know the
problem what you're saying.
It worries me.
It looks like because I've stayed here for so long and you've gone and come, I'm getting used to the filth. I was like, where is this guy coming from? But I feel like, if you're the crew, it means I've been damaged.
Bernard, that's the reality.
I've been damaged by staying here for long. I have to travel.
Bernard, you see, I mentioned
Accra is dirty.
I mentioned conditioning the other time. We are conditioned to filth.
Yeah. What I've not been conditioned to accept though is that when I drive to Zongo Junction, I always weep because, when Henry Cote was in his day and he was working with all the assemblies, I think this was 2019, 2018, when he was doing the Keep Accra Clean.
Make Accra Greater.
He had these
Clean.
posters of Greater Accra, something. There was order. I get to Zongo Junction now. This is Medina Zongo Junction. Everybody's crossing the road. When Henry Cote was regional minister and was on you won't see refuse on the floor. Yeah. People were using the footbridge, and the traffic police were there, even with parking.
Yeah.
Past Tiptoe Lane. So when I'm going from Adabraka to Tesano, those days when you get to Tiptoe Lane, everybody was orderly. Now the cars park the last lane on the left is what we have to struggle to pass because they said Henry Cote was affecting their politics. Yes. So now he can't do his work. And I'm saying to myself, isn't it nice when there's order? Don't we appreciate the order of having people drive and trotros park where trotros are, taxis park, refuse is collected? We don't like this, and therefore we sabotage the whole thing, and now this urban jungle is back.
Because you see, Bernard, so like people complain about seeing cattle in the middle of the streets, right? Like with the medians. But why do you think that the ranchers send their cattle there to the median?
Because there's grass there.
Exactly. Yeah. They are looking. It's a solution for them.
Oh, stop it.
But no, it's the truth.
Yeah. It's all the grass in the bush finished that you should bring cattle can be grazing at the Kanda Highway.
Bernard,
how much grass is there?
You see, because here's the thing. Because in the first place, we were not supposed to have ranches in those parts of town. You're not supposed to have a ranch in Kanda. that size.
Yes.
Because where are they going to graze? Unless you are bringing the grass from somewhere to feed them inside.
Behind a dental somewhere.
Exactly.
Where there's the lie. Yeah.
We have failed in that one. But here's the situation. Now we see, there is, and it's not just Kanda. In Dansoman, because a lot of people now own cattle.
So the
median of, if you know Dansoman very well, from Dansoman roundabout, the exhibition roundabout, to the main one, the median.
How much grass
that one
is
is ready.
Bernard.
And how many days will the cattle graze there?
Bernard, ask. Look, my friends at Stanbic Bank, Dansoman, are constantly complaining because you see their office is directly opposite. Bernard, 2 days ago, for instance, I was on my way home. I had to stop in the middle of the road because there were like 40. They were eating, and the guy who looks after them is holding his whip, holding on his phone, standing in some corner.
That guy.
What are you going to tell the person? That move the cattle?
Yeah, move the cattle.
No, you see, because what the median has grass. So now the city authorities' inability to keep the city clean.
We have moving
and cleared.
We are moving lawnmowers.
Basically, because I'm asking myself, what is the difficulty? And the thing is this: sometimes I hate doing comparisons.
Do you know what you are doing? The system is broken. The system of managing our urban spaces is broken. They've given up. See,
because
AMA doesn't have the power. We have not looked in our society. We need to empower people to work. There's leadership of the regional capital. Yes, you can say what's his name? The new guy is trying.
Who?
Titus Glover. So he's trying to deal with unauthorized structures. But the kind of leadership we saw under Henry Korte in bringing the assemblies together, when you go to RCC those days, all assembly people are there. They have a strategy. He was working with all the ministries. There was interior, sanitation. They were all working together. That was leadership. There's no leadership. That's the basic truth. So what you have is people do what they want. People are just relaxed. And people like me have gotten used to the debt that even you have to remind me, because the place I passed, what I saw was grass that I asked Kai that he's come and talk about that we should weed. I didn't even see the field.
Oh,
so I have been debted.
Yes,
by my constant stay in Accra.
And just forgive
system
me.
Is broken.
Bernard, with the how difficult is it to get people to weed?
Because even in Presec, every Thursday we used to weed. Twice a week you weed.
How difficult is it to get people to weed? Also,
repeat that question.
I'm asking, how difficult is it to get people to weed the medians? Unless the sanitation ministry or the city authorities,
maybe they don't have money.
Maybe, could be, but
it's a serious
thing. Is that not where the planning comes in, where perhaps they would say, grow a type of grass that perhaps doesn't grow?
Even if you grow grass that grows, are you telling me that city authorities cannot get somebody to weed?
Why? Because how are you designing a city that has medians with grass and it's like some mini forest?
Check. Some of the
and nobody cares.
It's serious.
So we did that.
The other issue apart from the ingredients is also that some of the roads have not been swept for days. You know that our main roads, right? Because we have not tarred the connecting roads. There's a lot of sand and silt that runs onto the road. Yeah. So when you take like the Nanakrom Road from the Major British International all the way to School Junction, most of the roads that lead there, when the rain falls, the water comes onto the main road. That's another major challenge. So you find patches of roads where there's just silt gathered because of rains, and that nobody sweeps it.
And no, but Bernard, you see, here's the point that I was even going to raise, Bernard, which comes to my point of the lack of progress we have made. How come that task is still manual? Because it's a task in futility.
Sweeping the road.
They use brooms. How are you sweeping the road with standing broom?
It gives them work.
No, but that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be efficient. You see, because what happens is they divide the roads. So maybe Antia has from this junction to this junction. Kweku Fosu has from this junction to this junction. Who is going to collect the sand after they are done sweeping? But at this point, we are supposed to have had these mini trucks, because in most places, even in Africa, I've been in a lot of cities. Bernard, it's been a while since I've seen a human being sweeping this road. Most of them have gone mechanics. They've gone mechanized, sorry. Either with the mini street sweeper, or they have the large street sweepers that come to work like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to sweep. Nobody does it manual anymore.
You haven't even spent 2 weeks and you're already frustrated.
No, I'm not frustrated, but it's like
you are frustrated. You are very frustrated.
Couldn't we think
Guys just looking at you.
Okay. Let me keep quiet.
No, keep talking.
Let me keep quiet.
No, I just want to summarize your issues, and then Caleb, go and then I'll summarize.
No, Caleb, go on.
See, Bernard, over the weekend, we had world leaders come to Accra.
Yeah.
And they were hosted at Kempinski. They were talking big things. I had to drive one of our colleagues there. And on my way out, I was looking around the children's park area.
It wasn't clean.
And the National Theatre there. And I'm like, you have world leaders coming to your city, and this is how it looks like. But let me paint a picture for you. Around the children's park, you had sacks full of plastic dumped around, and there were plastics all over the place. And around the place was weedy and was very unkempt. Around the National Theatre to where the traffic light is, there are some trees on the left. You find waste there. It's a heap there. And I'm like,
And you know the other thing?
But this is the heart of the city.
The hawkers have removed the pavement blocks, and then they've heaped them and turned them into tables and chairs to sell their wares. So there's a systematic removal of pavement blocks. I even took a photo yesterday at the National Theatre traffic light when you are going next to World Trade Center. So like they've removed the pavement block and they've parked their wares on it and they are sitting on it.
And the bus stop opposite the World Trade Center, people pee there. You don't want to stand by that place. It's nauseating. And they put refuse there. I'm saying, if for nothing at all you're having world leaders coming, you are talking all the big English, you are talking,
but the world
make
leaders,
that place clean, small.
There's police made sure the traffic flowed fast so they couldn't see. And then they were in tinted V8.
No, but Bernard,
So
you
they
will
couldn't
see that the place is
refuse.
weedy.
So the police were, Sunday I went to a
Yeah.
program there. So from Upongolo, from Shiashi,
Yeah.
all the way through to the roundabout at Ridge.
Traffic.
There were police.
Them?
So we just moved smoothly. And the cars were moving very fast, so you didn't see anything.
No, Bernard, it's really not cool. It's really not cool. Like when it rains also and you're driving towards Kaneshi, man.
So
what
let's
is
just
this?
summarize the issue. The filth in the city needs to be addressed.
Yes.
And then the issue of, I think, is more the issue of city management. City management, I think we've lost the plot. I think the city managers have given up. I think they've given up. They are not even
I'm
trying.
with you.
They are tired. It's like, let election come and let's see what will happen. It's okay. We are tired. So it's like the referee just blew the whistle. You know, like when you are playing a match. The reason football is I like boxing before.
The referee will stop the fight.
Boxing, no? When you reach some place, so boxing is like parliamentary system. Parliamentary system, we some say we are tired. So we just blow the whistle.
Call an election.
But football, you have to play. Even if they are scoring 20 nil, you have to play. They have to do justice to the time. So some of the people have like, let's just wait. We don't know what to do again. Because look, managing a city, I think in the past 8 years, it was the Henry Cote time that taught us a little
small
about what works. That may not be the best way to do it.
Yes.
But you've created all these small assemblies that can do jack. You've created all these.
They don't have equipment. They don't have a plan.
And then every day you have a discussion at a conference to discuss the problem.
Climate change.
So
No, just think, just to wrap up, just for the authorities to think about that, the most effective cleanup system we have is a group of 45 volunteers.
It's serious.
They should think about it. With the entire power of the state behind you, the most effective cleaning machine we have now is a group of 45 volunteers who call themselves bus stop boys. The minister should
Don't you think
answering some questions in some corner right now.
Should do, when the Gamancha did the cleanup, do you think there should be like a weekly cleanup?
Fine. So somebody has to coordinate it.
You can say every week cleanup.
Coordinate it.
They will say they don't
But
have
that's
money.
why I see
The better option.
That's
not
why the assemblies
ensuring
exist,
that
right?
citizens do what is right. While
Coordinate
you
it.
also do
But
this
it's also
you-
leadership. Even if one citizens do that, you have to lead them.
Because Bernard, I mean, if you are driving a Mercedes Benz, right, S class, why should you chew granite
And just leave it on the road.
and just throw it out of the car onto the road? Air conditioned properly.
That's a good question.
I mean, why?
Because I can't think far. I can't think far.
Because there's no consequence.
So there are two problems. The fact that the person who has the presence of mind to throw it, and then he can also get away with it.
Yeah. I was driving on a highway somewhere, Bernard. If you litter, what is the minimum fine for littering in Accra?
It doesn't exist.
Oh, it does exist. It exists. It should be somewhere. Yeah, it's on the
We are talking
bylaws.
about what exists in paper, what exists in actuality.
Yeah, because normally those also signs would normally be displayed because you would see.
So how much were you fined?
When I knew you later, stretch of road, $1,000.
$1,000 for littering in America.
There was a stretch of road that was. Hey. So if you see that, if they catch you, you're going to pay $1,000 for throwing that granite.
Anyway, so in summary, we're saying we need leadership. Look, it may be the 11th hour for the government or whatever it is, but I think regional minister whip the people into line, call the assemblies, do something.
Sanitation ministry,
do something. Sanitation ministry.
Santos is bringing about some new revolution.
Yeah, so
he needs to coordinate with. You see, Sky, he needs local government and sanitation because these three always work together. Local government, you can't do anything without local government because all the assemblies, local government is their boss. So regional minister and local government must work together, and then sanitation together.
But I'm at the point where I'm getting comfortable with the fact of saying, with saying, we could actually do without a sanitation ministry. What do they do?
I don't know.
What exactly do they do?
They need to come and answer.
The sanitation ministry is of no use in the system that we operate.
Sanitation, even if for nothing, they should be engaging the public on education. Yeah. So even if they don't have, like, let's assume they don't even have resources to do cleanup. Sanitation could be daily TV thing to say, oh, don't litter. I don't know if they are doing even that, where they can even go to the market and be educating people. But I don't know.
The irony is that every day government people are on radio talking about politics, but we can't find people to tell people about hygiene and sanitation. That's the irony.
They are government communicators.
So they can't communicate and tell people.
No, they have to tell you the achievement of the government because you don't know. Okay. They have to remind you. But that's the problem we've created for ourselves, where we cannot separate politics from good governance. As you said, communication on sanitation, like point Sky raises. Every day, because you see, our population, the educational level is not that high. So we need TV, radio, account drama, don't litter, don't clean, those things. But
more so where we live, looking at our own economic status as a country, where we don't have the wherewithal to build a lot of health facilities. And a lot of the things we suffer are things generated from our own environment. We are talking cholera, typhoid, and malaria. 3 diseases that are direct consequences of our own actions and inactions, or sanitary conditions, or lack of, or the absence of that. So I believe that, we need to understand our context and do a lot to get out of it, right?
You brought it back from Tokyo. You brought it back. You brought the rule back.
People know their context, their situation. They realize that this is where we are.
All right.
This works for us, so we do it.
Gentlemen,
let's get into it.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
We are using the platform to don't litter, clean the gutter in front of your house, and what else? What are the other tips?
Why should you urinate in public?
Good question.
Driver, you are driving, then you get off the road, Ajoulu, and then you open the side of the road. Then
because you're not well trained.
No, but you see,
the society hasn't trained you well.
Bernard,
we failed in training that driver. That's true. So we have to find. That's what I'm saying. Use media in addition to formal education to say when you switch on TV, you show the person that they shouldn't do that. Social engineering.
And then you should have the law.
You see, sanitation and all these ministries. Governing in Africa requires shaping minds more than just buying tractors and things. And I think we failed there because, look, as you said, people are communicating achievements of the government and the rest of it. They should be on air talking about sanitation, good behavior, and those things. That's what helps us to move forward. But we are not interested in that because it doesn't bring votes. So let's take a social media trends and move on. Why?
Bernard is brought to us by Telecel and First Bank Ghana. What we are saying is, if you're ready to be the next millionaire in town, the Telecel More Money promo is here. 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize is up for grabs, and it could be you. Yes, you. Simply reload your mobile using your Telecel cash wallet and be part of the daily and weekly draws where you could win up to 30,000 Ghana cedis every week. Purchase data or airtime using your Telecel cash wallet and double your chances. Making payments onto your fixed broadband also gives you a chance to be the next millionaire. The more you reload, the better your chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. To opt in for free, dial *500# or send WIN to 500 or visit the Telecel Play app. This promo is regulated by the NLA on a Caritas lottery platform. T's and C's apply. Telecel, connecting energies. And the biggest dream starts small. So this long vacation, enroll your children or wards on the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program from July 15th to September 15th, 2024 to enable them gain valuable work experience. All you need to do is to sign up your children or wards for the Kids First account designed for children up to the age of 12 or for the Me First account made for teenagers aged 13 to 17. Make an initial deposit of 300 cedis in the account and apply for the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program. Your child or ward will experience an exciting 5-day internship at any of our branches, get to participate in an essay writing competition and win an attractive cash prize if his or her essay is adjudged as one of the top 3 essays. So to find out more about the First Bank Ghana Junior Internship Program, please call us on 0596 921 921 or email firstsolutions@firstbankghana firstbankgroup.com. First Bank Ghana, you first.
So let's find out what's trending
All right.
this morning.
Okay, so following yesterday's the trend from over the weekend, hashtag dissolve NCA board, and all the talk around data and all of that, a new trend popped up. Hashtag data must be cheap. It also popped up yesterday. So the two hashtags are in the dissolve NCA board, data must be cheap as Lausu here. And then a new trend also emerged following the statement that came from the NCA. Third in Africa is also trending. There's not a data, no.
Third lowest in Africa.
Yeah, so we should be very, very happy concerning that. Anyway, to other things that are also trending, KK Fosu is trending now. He's in the entertainment world. He's trending because a few weeks ago, I don't know if you followed, there was a road crash involving himself and some other people, a blogger named Claude who passed on, and there were some people who said KK Fosu did not attend the gentleman's funeral, but KK Fosu has responded saying that he did not know the gentleman personally. He only saw him when they were about to go out on the ill-fated journey. So that is that. On the sporting side of things, Godfrey's very good friend LeBron James is trending. Last night he was hot as the Americans beat Germany 92-88 in their final warm-up game ahead of the Olympics.
The US and South Sudan.
I saw it. They won
Sudan
100 and 1 to 100.
Good.
Yeah, very good.
And Bernard, I will use South Sudan's basketball journey
to say something
later.
No. So KK Fosu
the guy's why tall like that.
Yeah, and LeBron James. So like I said, LeBron is
Dinka
trending.
And Nue.
Yeah. They're trending because he was hot for the Americans. Plus, he will be leading the American contingent. He was chosen as the flag bearer of the American team yesterday. Let's do some tech news very quickly. You remember the outage that happened last week?
Yes.
Well, the two main entities involved, that is Microsoft and CrowdStrike, they have been speaking. CrowdStrike CEO Kurtz, he took to social media to apologize for what happened. He says they are looking into it and he's promised customers that it will never happen again. Now, Microsoft has also stated that it's also looking into it. There's a very interesting long write-up on CNN for those who are interested, just to see the impact of it. It affected government business, banking, travel, transport. What even struck me was that even in the health space, there were some people, there was a group in America who rely on blood donations. Now, the donations could not move because of the outage, and so it affected some health services as well. That's how huge automation is in the world.
It's been solved now.
Meta in Nigeria have been fined $200 million.
Yes. I think he that came in a couple of days ago. Yeah.
Going up? Yes. After you. No, you first. No, please. I insist.
We're going to jump into some reactions to this discussion. But before that, a few announcements. Nathan?
Yes, the GRA is introducing stamp textile tax, which is effective from the 1st of July, which is about 21 days old. Now, this stamp is protecting your jobs and livelihood from illicit trading, counterfeiting, and smuggling. African prints or textiles are included, and you are urged to look out for the green border for domestic products, red border for imports, and blue for the transition period. If you have any questions, reach out to the GRA or go online, gratextiletaxstamp.com. Remember, no stamp, don't buy. And if you want to buy a vehicle, then I'm recommending the T-Cross-Up Compact Crossover SUV from VW. If you do that, you are saving 40,000 cedis. And if you buy an Amarok, you're also saving 40,000 cedis. For more info, call or send a WhatsApp message to 025-795-6688. Remember, T's and C's apply. Now it's the morning, it's 8:16. You want to get something to take as breakfast? I recommend Twisco from the producers of Cowbell. Is enriched with NFOD, great boosting energy boosting minerals, and it's also made from a premium blend of cocoa powder. Get it from your neighborhood store and start your day with a cup of the great tasting Twisco and power your dream. This ad is FDA approved.
So my hard-working old neighbor who is a baker has been doing this for years on a small scale, but she's growing, she's expanding, she's upgraded to deliveries, and all it took was a conversation with ABSA, and she got a collateral-free loan of up to 500,000 Ghana cedis with a 10% annual interest rate. Is best on the market today. So for budding entrepreneurs seeking the next chapter in their stories, visit any of our branches to speak to someone to help guide you on your journey, because at ABSA, your story matters. And if you're tired of paying exorbitant electricity bills, we have Ghana's leading solar company here, Translight Solar Limited, at highly competitive prices. With us, you can reduce your electricity costs and escape doing so permanently. Solar power is no longer just a backup for ECG, but a viable everyday source of energy. You can also visit our website at www.translightsolar.com. Or call us at 050-424-9229 or 0206-542-454 for early bird deals. We are located around the 98 Boundary Road, East Legon, between ARS and the American House. Everywhere there is sunlight, there is Translight. So this is good news for those of you who want a British degree at a fraction. If you want a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you one step closer to the career of your dream, this is what we offer at Lancaster University. We give you 50% scholarship, be taught by the finest faculty trained to UK standard on our campuses. For more information, please call us now on 020-960-7008 or visit www.lancaster.edu.gh. You can also email us at admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Send us your comments, 054-998-6996. There are 3 E's of making... I call them the 3 E's of efficient urban management. So there's engineering, enforcement, and education. Yeah. But I think it's engineering, education, and enforcement. So engineering is the hardware, education is the software, enforcement is the sort of the consequence of, if you engineer properly, your drains will be covered. There will be better planning. So engineering is everything you do on the hardware side. And then education is everything on the software side. So skits, plays, songs, drama, education, interviews. Let people know, repeat basically keep prompting people, right? Keep prompting people for good behavior, because it's a behavioral aspect of urban sanitation. Then, of course, there's enforcement, sanitation, police, MTTD, and all those people. So it's quite clear we're failing in all 3. I have some experiences to read on the program
But let's talk about Bank of Africa quickly before we get into that.
Yes, the Bank of Africa is saying that if you are in international trade or you are an importer or exporter, they are here to give you great solutions to help you do your cross-border trade transactions. They are in over 30 countries and they are designed to give you proper financial support and advice. Call them on 0302-429-333 or visit any of their branches nationwide and talk to them. Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Now, the MPA is saying that gas aba, if you are cooking with firewood, is dangerous and is harmful to your health. Make that switch to gas and be a part of the cylinder recirculation model. Now, it's a model that allows you to take your empty cylinder, go to an exchange point and trade it for a filled one. You don't have to worry your head as to how to get the gas. It's there and it's available. Make that switch from firewood because it's harmful, and you make a smarter decision by using gas. This message is brought to you by the NPA and the Ministry of Energy.
All right, let's read a few comments on the vexed issue of filth in our cities. Here's one. It says, Bernard, good morning. Please, the last time Sophie was on your studio on this same issue, she was being dishonest with the facts. I'm registered with Zoom Lion, and the least said about their service, the better. Another one. Good morning.
Morning.
What the bus stop boys have shown us is that once we pay young people very well, they are willing to do cleaning jobs. Another one says, Bernard, good morning. Asadu Waste Management is responsible for picking up waste from my neighborhood once a week for about 100 cedis a month. But they come once a month. Imagine the pile of garbage we have to deal with. And if you call them to zero customer service, MFA Community 25. So our MFI is calling out Asadu Waste Management. Sky, read more for me.
So this morning, Alibia King says that, good morning, Bernard and team. Your colleagues are saying, what the colleagues are saying about the sanitation situation is very true. Just go around and keep your eyes on the road. You see what is happening. This one says that, good morning, team. The Sanitation Ministry, the Ministry of Local Government, Environmental Health Officers, EPA, Assembly members, we the citizens that keep compounding the filth issue are part of the problem. We need enforcement of the laws on our books. They have all failed at dealing with the sanitation menace. And the level of filth in the city is just a statement of that failure. It's coming in from Albert. This one says that cattle all over the place in Tema 2. There is now a permanent place at the Tema roundabout under the footbridge where they go to graze. It's coming in from Yao in La Paz. Bernard, the Pone landfill site is still in operation. One was decommissioned and an old one just opposite the new GPHA terminal was reopened. The whole enclave and the Pone township, those places are in a mess with filth and stench all over. It's coming in from Kofi in Temakra smells, you know. Jonathan from Teshi says, too much weed in the median of our roads, causing so much nuisance everywhere. The case is not different at all in Teshi Ebenezer Junction, not far from the Lekma Hospital. It's causing accidents almost every month. Every day, every month. Our city authorities must know that what they see in other countries is carpet grass and not Achimota mini forest. It's coming in from Jonathan and Teshi.
Send us a voice note on these matters, especially as it pertains to refuse collection. We are happy to hear from you. 054-998-6996. Send a WhatsApp voice note because Godfred is talking about filth, urban management, enforcement, engineering, education. Sky, more
Somebody says that Bernard Godfred is suffering from or is experiencing cultural shock upon Accra is generally dirty. The median between Atomic and UPSA Junction holds a family. Oh, really? A man together with his wife and child. They live under the trees in the median. They do their cooking and washing there. It's quite something to see. It's coming in from business scientists. This one says, Bernard and team, please, do you recall the 9 rules Nathan brought from Tokyo? Yes, I was drawing his attention a short while ago. Please,
maybe you should repeat them.
Use your platform to hit or echo these rules for just this week. It's coming from.
I have a very funny message here.
Tell
There's a
me.
friend of mine said, "Lawyer says Koku."
Yes.
You see the numbers I have saved for Zoom Lion on my phone.
You sent your screenshot?
I always try to reach them by whatever means and number. You never get a response. I just left them. Now he saved Andrew Zoom Lion, Andy Zoom Lion, Selassie Zoom Lion, Zoom Lion, new guy,
Zoom Lion, old guy.
Doris Revenue Zoom Lion. Then he has Kure Zoom Lion, and then he has Zoom Lion Inquiries. So he has
6 numbers.
1, 2, 3, 7. So Andrew Zoom Lion, Andy Zoom Lion, Selassie Zoom Lion, Zoom Lion new guy, Doris Revenue, Kure Zoom Lion, and Zoom Lion Inquiries.
Because he's never found a baller. Look at this.
The system at that level is not even working. Just one line, call somebody will direct somebody to come and solve them.
So he has 7 Zoom Lion numbers, and still that's not work. So he left them.
But okay, Sky hasn't finished. So
Okay, better.
Yes.
And a supposed vision to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa is an eyesore to see children from other countries, some of whom seem to be less than 2 years and shabbily clothed, dangerously begging along our roads, with their mothers having made the medians or sides of the road their abode. These situations persist with careless abandon by the authorities as if there is no government in place. This must be addressed immediately.
But in addition to this,
that in from New
in addition to this, is how frequently you find mentally deranged people walking freely on our streets. Some will just, they are not clothed at all, and they're just mentally ill. Sorry. And I feel like, but why? Because when I go to other cities, I deliberately try to find out
where they are.
Where there are no hawkers here. People are not. Are they not enterprising? Where are the mentally ill people on the street?
It's mental health. Even stray animals, we just leave them. We it looks like nobody governs the space. That's the issue.
Bernard, when you are traveling from Oxford by bus or by train to London, right?
Babylon by bus.
Charlie, you can see the sheep grazing in the fields.
Yeah, man.
Properly fenced off.
Yes, please.
Right? Even they themselves know that they don't have to go beyond.
You mean the man? Yeah. No, our sheep they want to cross road. Our sheep they want to cross road. Because our sheep they are hardcore.
Because brother, you know why? Because they have.
But we are good when they see car, they jump. They don't want to even run. So they don't fear.
They are residents of the city too.
The sheep you see in UK, that are bad sheep. They don't understand that.
They don't hustle.
They are not hustle.
The Ghana sheep must fight to survive. The daily bread is not easy to find. The daily bread of a Ghana goat is not easy.
It's the hustler.
A few more comments before we wrap up this segment. Wait, let's.
And this one said, "Good morning, gentlemen. Good question. I got a question. Why was Henry Quarters silenced or stopped?
Oh, Charlie.
That's the root cause of our problem as a country. It's coming in from PK in Tema." And this one says, "Good morning."
Somebody to us the Zoom Lion one. It's another friend. So he has the last Zoom Lion, Zoom Lion collector, Zoom Lion East boss, Zoom Lion Sadiq, and then Francis Zoom Lion. Every week you got somebody else. So this my friend, he has 6, and another one has 7. So it's like it's a trend.
Oh, Charlie.
So you call every day, somebody else they pick.
Yeah, but why?
Maybe they want to trick you.
No, you see, because refuse collection is supposed to be very, very. It's routine. You know that on a Friday, at this time, they'll come and pick your refuse. You understand? But here, Alaska, if you send your refuse outside, that they'll come and pick it, you leave it there for 2 months.
So you have to call. So you mean you need a connection.
A connection.
So you have to call Francis.
And if that doesn't work, then Aboboya, which is why Sky mentioned, the system is not connected. It doesn't even look like there's a system. And
it's troubling. It's troubling.
And somebody was telling me, and the city authorities helped me with this one. Like even the city itself struggles with the compact track. Like the compactor, they don't own one.
The city itself.
The city itself
is owned by private companies.
Yes. So how does the city itself not own one?
But I thought under the Garrett program, they bought some equipment for the assemblies. Indeed, I remember Ohene Safo said, and he actually, when you go on the website, they actually bought waste management trucks for over 18 assemblies. And they gave it to them that in addition to whatever the companies do, they should do their own cleanup. So they were giving some. So maybe they don't have a compactor because compactor is a higher level, but they have basic. Look, people are not working.
Yes.
And people are getting away with it. Leadership is failing. That's the issue.
Yes.
If you come to your office and it's not swept, don't you think Mr. Adam has a question to answer?
Yes.
Because he's the head of admin. Somebody's administering Accra. What is he doing? Somebody's a DC, MC. What are they doing? Sanitation is the most basic thing. People are not working. People are not working. And leaders are getting away with their dereliction. That's the truth. You know, yes, we need to change behavior. We need education. But the truth is that at the bottom of every failure in society is a leadership failure. Let's not have any qualms about it.
I agree.
Right? Whether education, yes, I agree with people should not pour granite on the road, everything else. Those who, when they go to other countries, don't do that because there's better leadership of spaces. Yesterday, I was watching the U.S. Congress, and they were
grilling.
Yes, they were.
Director
it was a hearing. They subpoenaed the director of the Secret Service, Cheadle. You know, as I watched it, I advised myself.
Against?
You know, I said it will take us a long time because some people take themselves serious.
Yep.
Some people don't joke with public service. They said, and this was across parties, they said, you can't come and sit in front of us and be giving us evasive answers. We are the reps of the people. You should be sacked. And when they finished, they had a bipartisan resolution that the woman should be sacked.
Yes.
Because she was not answering the questions the American people wanted. But even not that. Sky, you see, Congress is House of Reps versus Senate. Senate has just 2 members per state. So Senate is high level. So you can say Congress, there are many districts. So they can be maybe 12 or 13 congressmen per state. So it's bigger. Even the lowest Congress person, before they ask a question, the questions are written. The person's premise for asking the question is grounded. The language is correct. And all is in the interest of the American people. The discourse was highly enlightening. And I was watching and said, even me, a journalist, some of the questions the people were asking, the way they even wrote the question, I was even looking at the way they structured their questions.
Foundation.
My brother, clearly the organization around one Congress person to ask a question is serious. The research. And I said, when will we get here? That some people take their parliament so serious that and I didn't see, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, no, that, all, you know, when we go to parliament, all those fight, I didn't hear one procedural problem. I can say 95% of the time was spent dealing with the main issue, questioning the person. What any hearing in Ghana? Standing order. We don't even understand. Like we spend the whole time arguing about the procedure. Sky, the procedure was simple. I didn't even read the rules, but I knew what the rule was. They call Democrat, they call Republican. They call Democrat, they call Republican. Now, when you come, apparently there's a time I didn't know. So the guy will be, they won't say, I'm giving you 3 questions. I'm black, I'm giving you 2 questions. I'm giving you 5 questions. No. Nathan has the chance to grill the person, but Nathan has maybe 4 minutes. I don't know, whatever minute. He himself, in asking the questions, will say, my time is up, I yield. I never heard the chairman say, hey, you, I'll give you 2 questions, keep quiet. Classification, I didn't hear those things. Everybody had, I think there was some clock in front of them.
Yes.
So as soon as his time is, he will yield to the chairman. When he has something to tender, he will raise it up and then they will say, is there any objection? No objection. They move on. They spent 95% of the time grilling the woman. And I said, when will we get there? This is the Secret Service. Oh. When was the last time when they even bring national security? They said this national security, so we shouldn't even put them on air. Secret Service is answering questions before Congress people and is live for the whole world to see. The whole world, though. You see, this is the thing. We are joking when we say we are practicing democracy and we are not accountable. Democracy without accountability is a hoax. I'm telling you, Sky. Yesterday, what I saw, I was humbled. You can criticize America for many things, though. They are ahead of us for a reason. They are serious with their work. They are very serious with their work. And the fact that Secret Service boss, Secret Service, can be grilled by Congress people. Both Secret Service. Secret Service.
Let me.
And this is live on air for all of us to see, not just Americans, the whole world to see. No holds barred. And I said, when you see, we say we are doing democracy, but we are not. Many things came to my head. The quality of the person who holds themselves out, the system that raises that leader, the quality of their education, the way they even carry themselves, the level of detail they required in terms of bullets captured. What was the procedure? Was the procedure followed? Your relationship with local law enforcement. I mean, it was too good. And then they link it to broader issues of gun violence in the country and all these things. And I said, God, when? I nearly would have said, hey, so are we all in the same world? Were we all created the same? Mm-hmm. What is happening? In Ghana, we can't even have, I mean, you know, we need a drastic reorientation. Maybe find a way of increasing the quality of our leaders, put them in some machines where they come out different or something. Because at the rate that what I saw on TV yesterday and what I see here, I don't know. I don't know when we can catch up. Honestly. Yeah, millennia. Honestly, Nathan. You watched the hearing.
Yeah, let me just read you two quick portions of the statement that was put together by the leading Republican and Democrat person from the committee, James Comer and Jamie Raskin. Quote, in the middle of a presidential election, the committee and the American people demand serious institutional accountability and transparency that you are not providing. We call on you to resign as director as a first step to allowing new leadership to swiftly address this crisis and rebuild, and this is my favorite part of the statement, the trust of a truly concerned Congress and the American people. End quote.
And therefore, they said she should be sacked. Sky, you are a parliamentary correspondent before, so you know what I'm talking about. I think there are light years ahead of us, and I'm not exaggerating, because I argue that we don't understand the system we run. I don't think we understand the system well, which is why we spend all the time fighting over procedure. And I don't think the MPs take their work and themselves as seriously as these Congress people take themselves. If they ask a question you are not answering, they even get angry. Yeah. And I didn't see the chairman of the committee trying to shield anybody.
Stand here all the time.
You get it? They are there for the people. Here, which party is it from? Yeah. They don't even allow certain questions. Yeah. They don't even allow us to watch our leaders. Accountability is not at the basis of our society. Now, Sky, I always say this. Never trust a person who is not accountable. You are a man who has daughters. If your daughter is moving with a man who is not accountable, you will not be happy. You don't let them go to a church where there's no accountability, or an office where there's no accountability. Why should we have a democracy with no accountability? Why should our executive treat accountability as a nuisance? The head of the Secret Service says they have 36 customers. Customers means entities that they have to protect. They were talking about when the NATO conference happened. They had to make sure all world leaders at the NATO were protected, in addition to having other things happening. The budget on them is $3 billion. That's the amount IMF gave us. That's just for one institution. They have 8,000 employees. And the woman sat there and she was stone-faced, and they grilled the hell out of her. Forgive my French. We are not ready for democracy if we don't understand accountability. The level of rage among Congress members around her answers, and I compare that to what we do here. Why is refuse not collected? There's no accountability. You have a minister in charge of local government. All assemblies report to him. If he sees refuse not collected, he can recommend the firing of the DCE. Do you understand me? If there's accountability. Do you understand me? And it cascades. Mr. President. So if you're seeing a society where there's dysfunction, it's lack of leadership accountability. A leader must make sure there's accountability by being accountable themselves. What I saw yesterday on American television tells me that society values accountability. We don't. Because we protect our own and we cheer our politicians like we cheer Hearts and Kotoko. So if it is our side, it's okay. If it's the other side, Americans are also partisan, but on some things they don't deviate. Principle. You cannot, as head of Secret Service, come and stand before us and be evasive. You cannot tell us that because FBI is doing an investigation, they say you gave answers to media people. We are the Congress. How dare you sit in front of us and tell us you don't know? They were so upset, and it was holy anger. Of course, some were grandstanding, some were trying to make political statements, but at the end of the day, the decorum and the order and the civility and the seriousness is these people don't rule the world by chance. We are where we are by our own doing. We are not serious. We don't value accountability. People, they say you have to resign because your job as Secret Service is to make sure that what happened never happened. So saying it will never happen again is not enough. Here, buildings collapse. We go and sympathize with the people who have problems, and we go on with our lives. Nobody's held accountable. June 3, who was held accountable? Who is held accountable for anything? 7,600 people have died on our roads between January and June. Who is held accountable? We just read it and we say it's a problem. We must educate people. A democracy with no accountability is a sham. People must take responsibility. All our agencies want to be called authority. So now we have National Road Safety Authority, Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Standards Authority, Food and Drugs Authority. They all convert from boards to authority. They want the authority without the responsibility. It's a dereliction. You want more power, you don't want to be accountable. Everybody says, when you make us a board, nobody respects us. We want an authority to enforce our rules. So all the agencies in Ghana, check it. They all, National Health Insurance Authority, Volta River Authority. Everybody's an authority. But authority without accountability, what is it? So all the things happening in our society, we are not going to improve. We cannot compete with anybody if we are not accountable. And I want to urge Parliament to rise up to the occasion. Parliament is not a place to play out the executive's fantasies. Parliament has 3 functions. He's explained it. There's government check. There's legislative, and there's another one I don't remember. Those 3 things must be taken very seriously. Last point. It's not by force to be an MP. Let's scrutinize the people who go there. Because if you put Sankwas there, you can't have a good government. Sankwas people who can't do, who can't think beyond simplistic levels. No. What I saw yesterday, these are well-trained people who take their work seriously. Don't bring the next Galamsey guy because he has money and say he's going to be your MP. No. Or because the party likes him. He's from the royal family, so he will win. So put him there. No track record of service, no volunteerism, no track record of leadership, no integrity. Just has money to pay delegates to go into parliament. What will he represent there? Leadership is a serious business. Let's not do that to ourselves. Let's read more comments.
More comments are coming in. 0549986 This one says, good morning, Bernard and team. The reason there's accountability in the US is that they put the country first. But here in Ghana, our leaders put party first. A country called Ghana. This one says, good morning, Bernard and Co. How do you get someone who was your campaign manager to account? Like the connections. We like the connections too much. This one says, good morning, Bernard and team. If a government official should be put before our parliament for questioning, you find the party in power defending him. Our parliamentarians are rather interested in making laws to benefit themselves. The difference is clear. We see in Klagon. This one says, on the grilling of the Secret Service boss, the last time it was tried in Ghana, all we heard was, "Hey, Ato." I thought you were my friend. Hey, Brian Champions.
And don't forget that this is a former president. You see, what impressed me, this is Donald Trump.
Yep.
He is the prospective Republican nominee. He's a former president, and he is a Republican. All right? So, like the equivalent of a Mahama, has a security issue. And the fact that Secret Service is to answer questions as to why they didn't protect a former president.
Yes.
In Ghana, if you're in power, you have everything. If you're in opposition, you have nothing. Yes. I'm telling you, that's the way I would say it, because they have the sense to know that this guy is a former president.
And he's a potential president again.
And once you've been president before.
Do you understand?
You are still
And we sit
accorded
here
and
and
accorded all
for us,
these.
national security is regime security. The number of things we do that undermine national security. We allow unemployment. We create government scams that rip the people off. People don't have work to do. We have all these crazy scandals. And we think that national security is making sure a government stays in office. Go and listen to what Francis Poku said last 3 weeks. 1st July, he said national security is not regime security. National security is dealing with the things that can dislocate a system. You get me? So, that's how I say, because look, they were angry that these people allowed a 20-year-old guy to be within 150 yards. So maybe 130 meters of a former president they call it at his 3 o'clock, means on his right side. And he says if the man was a bit taller,
he would have,
because the bullet would have hit his chest. Yeah. He would have died. And they would ask him, how many bullets were there? He could answer. Every question they asked, she was evading. And they were incandescent. These are people who take their society seriously and they want accountability. We must demand accountability from our leaders and stop cheering them on because they come to our local churches.
Let me just make a quick comment. You see, every congressman in the US, right, has a serious system around him or her. If you enter the secretariat of a congressman or congresswoman, it is akin to a whole ministerial office here in Ghana. But the people there, they are not sitting down idling. They have researchers. They are those dealing with national security. They are those dealing with issues of the economy. They are those dealing with diplomatic issues. So what's happening on the international scene? They are those dealing with what's happening at the UN level. What's happening in the constituency? What concerns are there? Somebody is coordinating the feelings on the ground and relating that directly to the member of parliament. So Nathan, your job is issues concerning national security. Every morning when you come to the office, you write a brief, 1 page, which sits on the decks of the member of parliament. So you go, you brief him. Oh, on so and so, this thing happened in Kenya. So and so number of people died, blah, blah, blah. It is related to the U.S. interest in this particular way. Questions are asked. You have briefed, your time is done. So you are gone. You, Caleb, your job is to deal with matters having to do with how pollution is happening in the honorable member's constituency. So you come. Oh, this particular factory is doing ABCD, polluting this water body. The people are not happy. About 2,000 jobs will be affected. You have given your brief and you have explained everything. If there's a question that she will ask you and tell you that, oh, go back and research this and that and that. And you come back.
There's a whole organization.
There's a whole organization. So that engine room prepares you going onto the floor of Congress, or you are going to a committee sitting, to know exactly what you are talking. You know where the issues are. You are directly briefed on what is happening. In our case, we have research.
But they have office now.
They
At least
do.
when I go, I see one or two people sitting there.
They do, but are we using it for the right purpose? So you have research assistants. What do? Tomorrow, the honorable member says I should go and buy food for him. Or some other person in the office says, I should go and do this and that. Or I should go and pay this person's school fees and all of that. That was not the purpose for which President Mills insisted that these people should get, research assistants. That was not the purpose. The purpose was to help you as a member of parliament to better understand your job and prepare every time. Before you go onto the floor of parliament, you know what the leading issue in Ghana is. And you raise it accordingly. Because constantly you are being briefed by people who know their job, masters holding students. So they are not coming to sit down on TikTok, Facebook, and basically watching movies.
So in addition to the quality of MPs, you're talking about having well-functioning offices around these MPs to make sure that they have higher quality discourse in parliament. But Sky, there's also the law of the lead, right? If the person is not good enough, you can put anything around the person, it's not going to work. So we need to have both.
That's true.
I think the political parties themselves have to understand the importance of parliament, because some of the characters who get on the ballot, honestly,
they should have no business being there.
Sky, even the basic questions that, look, the person has a file.
Yes.
And the file, no, the questions are numbered.
Yes.
Caleb, it was like a journalist going to do eyewitness news. Yes. And they had just 3 minutes to ask their questions. So they were able to put in a lot of questions with the premise and things. Charlie, it was like a lawyer going to do cross-examination. I mean, no. Look, Ghana, we need to wake up quickly. We need to wake up quickly.
But Bernard, isn't this telling? For example, if you reflect on the vetting of ministerial nominees, and you're looking at the ministers and ministries we are complaining about, take sanitation. Reflect on all the ministers we've had in that field, and remind yourself of the quality of their grilling.
The vetting.
Some of the most abysmal ones we have seen are the places we almost complain about on this show.
And then also the way the people on the government side
shields them.
They don't want the people to...
Some of them didn't last up to 5 minutes. People who are coming to man serious portfolios that affect our lives. And then they just go and say, oh, he's a member of parliament, he's one of us.
But you see why...
and the next thing they are gone.
But you see why we should separate... For me, I think
I think
one of the worst things we've done is to choose half of the ministers from parliament.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because you see, MPs should be feared. Me, if parliament invites me, I should be shaking. Because number one, you have sworn an oath. If I lie, I'm ending up in prison. Do you understand? Number two, these people are the people's reps. So when they speak for the people. All right. It shouldn't be a stepping stone for executive power. Parliament is very powerful. It shouldn't be a position for the MP is higher than deputy minister, in my view. Equal to minister. Because he has a constituency of 60,000 people whose voice must be heard in the chamber. So how you take half of them and say, do you know what the minister's work is? Coordinating policy. Ministers are giving speeches. They are traveling. I mean, how do you combine that with MP? We've created this system, and we have to find a way. I think we have to find a way of, if you want to do one thing, that will unclog, because you see, I think the quality of our democracy depends on the quality of parliament. That's how I simplify it, because there's no democracy without a parliament. All right? So if you want your democracy to improve, unshackle parliament, get better quality people there who want to be career legislators, right? Who are happy to be, look, I saw a woman there. I can bet you she's almost 85 years old.
Yep.
Yes. Republican from some place. And the question she asked, her voice was shaking, but she asked it. You get it? Because she's not looking for minister post. And she's not afraid of the executive. Her job, when you come to Congress, there's a power there. And they respect the rules. Here, people are lobbying for minister who is only MP. He didn't get anything. They didn't give us somebody. So when they said that he didn't get some, people didn't get anything. He's from voter. Let's give him 2. Let's give him. You see, it's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. And you know, I think the best person to save parliament is parliament. They know. You see, they
don't want to accept that authority.
They need to. Parliament is very crucial to a country. The UK, the government is formed from parliament. They don't even have presidential elections in UK. In UK, they have parliamentary elections across the country, and they choose somebody to be the leader, and it still works. Parliament can govern the country. You can choose from among the MPs. The Bible said, choose from among yourselves. So you can say MPs who have won the majority, choose from among the MPs the people who will be. Because presidential elections has been costing us so much money. You get it? So we shouldn't let parliament, and for me, if our democracy will improve, accountability must improve. And if accountability must improve, parliament must be strong. Because parliament will hold the executive in check. And parliament cannot hold an executive in check when parliament is either subservient or a stepping stone. The executive
parliament will only be made stronger if or when political parties understand the weight and value of parliament. Now that will then go into how they choose people or how they decide on who should be a parliamentary candidate. Of course, we can talk about the minimum requirements, be 40 and over, be a Ghanaian, blah, blah, blah. But I feel that if the political parties truly understand the value and the position of parliament in our democracy, it will then start to filter out the people who they will choose. It will no longer be a money game. It will be, how competent is this person when it comes to lawmaking? Can this person properly represent his people when he gets to parliament? Can this person go there and ensure that the right thing is done? But that will require political parties now coming to a point of understanding that we cannot be the be all and end all. We are just tools and weapons in this whole grand thing called democracy, and we should ensure that the people we send there understand what they are going to do and understand that the ultimate winner is not them or what they will get, but the ultimate winner is the Ghanaian who votes for them.
100%. 8:55, Citi Breakfast Show. More comments. So we started off by talking about sanitation, but we've diverted a bit into the role of parliament. But the theme is accountability. A democracy cannot function without accountability. So there's the legislative accountability, and there's also social accountability. So accounting to parliament or to the people through parliament, and then accounting through the mediums, which is like media. All of these are very important. We'll read some of your comments, and we are saying that one of the reasons why Godfrey is frustrated with sanitation is there's no accountability. And we must grapple with the question of accountability very, very seriously. Leaders must be accountable. They must be held responsible for their failures.
So let me tell you something. Yesterday I went somewhere to have breakfast, yeah? So when I finished, I ordered something and I was waiting for it. Then a big LPG gas tanker pulls up. And in an urban environment, right? Where there's a kitchen somewhere and
starts dispensing
all
gas.
kinds of. Then this guy decides to, he has a way. He pressed the gas thing, right?
Yeah.
And then he was coming out.
For what?
Like that.
For display?
I don't know why he was doing that. When
in a built-up area with a lot of
people, they are doing construction work. Somebody is welding something, and then his supervisor, some guy from probably outside the country, because if you look at him, clearly not from here, was standing there with him, and then they were doing the thing, and then he was using his mobile phone to film it. Then when he continued for about a minute, then I shouted, "Now what kind of foolish thing are you doing in the middle of?" Forgive my words. In the middle of so many people in a city where all kinds of things
just
are
one
happening.
spark.
Yeah, that's right. One spark.
We are all dead.
I'm in there. Many other people in, because there's a kitchen nearby.
With fire.
Somebody welding something.
Hey, and the guy is displaying gas.
So you see, somebody would have said that, oh, this one doesn't concern me. Hey. So let me leave. So when I shouted, and I told one of the waitresses that go and stop that. So when he eventually stopped, I drove my car, to the guy, and I told him that you are an irresponsible tanker driver.
Very much so.
What you are doing endangers not only your life, the life of your supervisor, and almost everybody and every property in this country.
There are some numbers at the back, and call the office.
All of that, and that the next time you try that foolishness, I'll cause you arrest.
Thank you, sir.
You should never, ever make that draw up.
Never.
Or the now. You say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because he thinks you're a big man.
No.
Because of you speak your English too. So he even thought you were a minister.
Esquire. And I drove away.
Sometimes being a big man is good.
You see, that is the level of.
No, he won't do it again. After what Sky did to you,
he won't do it again.
You threatened him.
I told him that.
But you see, the point you are making is also about collective responsibility. People sitting there watching.
Yeah, you took action.
Sometimes people just need to, but for me, I think the key word for today is accountability.
Yeah.
The woman will be sacked because he was not accountable to the American people. If something like this happens under your watch, and here we don't have a culture of accountability, resigning. It happened under my watch, I take responsibility, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry is not just to get off the hook. I'm sorry means I'm sorry enough to relinquish the position for somebody else to do it for a fresh start. We don't have that culture. For us, we dig in. We want to stay because the post is tied to the rest of our lives.
No, they say to resign, go and eat what?
Well, are you in the post to eat?
That's what they say.
You're talking about resignation. Let me read you something from my very good friends, the Japanese. 2 top executives at Japanese drug maker Kobayashi Pharmaceutical are stepping down as an investigation continues into 80 deaths that could be linked to some of its products. The company says President Akihiro Kobayashi and Chairman Kazumasa Kobayashi, both members of the firm's founding family, have resigned. The decision was made to clarify executive responsibility over the issue involving its Benikoji fermented rice products, the Kobayashi Pharmaceutical Company said. So, you see, in a place where they understand what responsibility means and they understand honor and respect for oneself and the society, 80 people have died because of their products. 2 people have resigned because they understand that it's dishonorable. I have disrespected my office and I have failed the people.
It takes us 100 years to do it. If you have a leader who starts implementing it within his space, people will take it. You Ghanaians learn quick.
7,000 people die on the road reportedly.
7,600.
Yeah. Nobody is accountable.
Nobody's accountable. If you read the newspapers, we report this problem and we report the leaders blaming the people for the problem. And the people also blame the leaders. Nobody takes responsibility for anything. So a society that cannot take responsibility, there's no way we're going to advance. Before I read some more comments, let's make some announcements.
The GT Bank is doing something amazing. They call it a spectrum of possibilities. Starting from today to Saturday, they are bringing in specialists and leading medical specialists and consultants from the US, UK, and Nigeria and Ghana. And they are holding a conference for teachers, child workers, everything. They are providing information and consultancy on autism. So they are encouraging us to be a voice for autism. This is their biggest corporate social responsibility. It's an initiative they call a spectrum of possibilities. It's happening today to Saturday at the Kofi Ohene Kunedu Auditorium, UPSC, Accra. So for further enquiries, call us to free 0800 124 000. Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? Now, if you want to spec an old car or you need a home makeover or you're thinking of a relaxing beach getaway, use your APSA card 10 times or more in a month and you could be a lucky winner in the APSA Change Your Story promotion and extra entries by using your digital channels 5 times or more. From now until the end of October, 5 lucky winners will take away 40,000 Ghana cedis each every month to change their story. So for more information, please visit any of our branches today, as this promotion is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Your story matters, APSA.
Now, Twisco is out on the market. It's one of the producers of Cowbell. It's a wonderful chocolate drink made with a blend of premium cocoa powder and enriched with Enafort. Go out there and get Twisco, sold at 1 cedi 80 pesos, and it's available in 20-gram sachets. Start your day with a cup of the great tasting Twisco and power your dream, and this ad is FDA approved. Now, Omni Basic Bank is the bank that is always at your service. They are Ghana's fastest growing corporate bank and Bank of the Year 2023. Go out there, find a branch and speak to your relationship officer and open an account, or call them on 0307 086 000. Omni Basic Bank at your service. Now, at the end of a long working day, you want to get home and relax and sleep. The mattress should not sag, but if that's your story, then it's a consequence of your actions. You went out to buy a very bad mattress and you compromised on quality. Go to Latex Foam. They've got great furniture, high quality mattresses designed with your ultimate relaxation in mind. Latex Foam is your partner for life. Now, if you are building or you're in the construction space, then Diamond's 42.5 hour grade cement is probably not new to you. But if it is, then you need to know that you should buy it because it's the very best on the Ghanaian markets. For the more affordable variant of the 32.5 hour grade, you can also get that as well, and it's good value for your pocket. Call Diamond Cement on 0540 111 978, and they have factories in Aplao, Takrady, and Buipe. Diamond Cement, still hard as a diamond. Now, you want a wonderful place to live and enjoy your life. Eden Heights is a place I'm recommending for you. Is a well-planned and secured gated community, and get access to a great sporting complex. They've got a fantastic pool, a great basketball court, gym, and all of that. They are in Wager behind the West Hills Mall, so you can call them 050-153-1444 for purchase or rental, or visit their website edenheights.com.gh for more details. Eden Heights, the height of modern living.
We'll be back with more Citi Breakfast Show 9:04. Stay with us. Beng. He is the CEO of Premier Invest. We're talking about investment in development and finance in Africa. And Professor Pat Utomi at the sidelines of the Badia conference. We're talking about how we can power our growth as a continent. But before that, here are some more comments.
A country where few months to elections, the PC passes away and the wife automatically becomes the next PC for election. What quality should we expect at Parliament? You didn't add your name. I mean, during the grilling exercise, words such as "you disgust me" were used. Can those words be used on head of national security? We have a long way to go, man. Have a blessed day, Ben, Caleb, Nathan, Rich, etc. Godfred, Felix from Dowenya Center through. Bernard, the closest we have come to what you described from the U.S. Congress was when Henry Quartey told the MCs he would ensure their removal. He would see to their removal if they fail to keep the municipalities clean. Why was he removed? Is that a signal that the appointing authority is not interested in getting the job done against doing what they think is politically correct for his party? Jonathan Agbeshi Botre from Kaswa Sender through. Bernard, who said we have parliamentarians in this country? We don't. What we have are party representatives in parliament. Ghanaian MPs don't really know what their jobs are. They're just, okay. Scatter is not happy. Scatter is scattering things. Good morning, Bernard and team. Our parliamentarians should not even be voted on partisan basis. And the appointment of 50% of ministers from parliament must end now. That's the only way parliament can be effective to check the executive. Ellie from Amrahia send that through.
I have a few more on my personal line. I'm going to read some. Good morning, Bernard and team. I think it's about time we took a critical look at recycling and waste sorting from our source programs. Our culture of piling all kinds of waste together is not very good. We could start with plastics and polythene sorting at home, biodegradable waste like plantain peels and leftover food as compost for gardening. That's from Kofi. And then another one coming in. It says, Bernard, over here in Italy, every community has 4 rubbish trucks, and they have a database that includes all the residents living in that community. When you commit a minor crime, such as road offense or petty offense, the court may sentence you to community labor. As part of your sentence, you have to wake up early in the morning and either pick up rubbish in the community by yourself or be driven by a community self-officer to do so until your sentence is complete. I had my sentence last 2 years. Ghana is not ready for development. This is DJ Nature. In Ghana, the rule is we rise to the level of our incompetence. We have a local government minister and a sanitation minister, yet we cannot keep our cities clean. No accountability here. When something happens, their party colleagues come and say, oh, he or she is a human being. We make mistakes. Can you imagine? More comments coming through on the subject of sanitation, leadership, accountability, the role of parliament in a democracy, and all of those. 054-998-6996. But I just want to read a few more, and then we will jump into your final comments.
Yes, please.
Bernard, if they don't have money to weed, they should use community sentencing in court and get offenders to weed there. This is from David. Zongo Junction to Firestone Median and Side Road is now a forest. It should not cost to weed, but the assembly will hire a company to hire the laborers to weed, so it gets more expensive. Bernard, please, your prisoners, what are they doing? Can't they help Ascona from Ebenezer down Dansoman? An effective sanitation program should have 3 components, namely education and cleaning, collection and enforcement of the laws. We are doing none of the 3 and have left Accra to become a big dump site. It's sad, but Accra is filthy and the leaders have given up. Another one says, leadership is the problem, and I mean leadership at all levels, but the buck stops with the overall leader who makes the appointment. If all appointments are partisan and friendship-based, what do you expect? Bernard, I heard you commenting on the grilling of the U.S. Secret Service Director by House Committee. I watched the session too and was very impressed with the conduct of the hearing, the detailed questioning, and the members' persistent efforts to uncover the truth. Compared to our proceedings, it's clear we have a long way to go. So accountability is the key word here. All right, let's come back in and see where we can leave the matter before we get into our next segment. Godfred. So you started with sanitation.
Yes.
And then I went to parliament
and accountability. And I want to stay there.
All right.
Because you went there, Bernard. 2018, you see, we decided the National Youth Authority and the Ministry of Youth and Sports decided to put up 10 youth resource centers across this country. Now,
one per region.
One per region. So they were to be found in just a second. So Wa, Doma, Dunkwalfin, Kofodia, Nyinahini, Axim, Accra, which is the Kaneshi Sports Complex. Now, where the National Youth Authority's office is.
Thank you.
Navrongo, Yendi, and Ho. Now, these were the places cited by the government to house facilities.
Okay.
Now, when this was announced, I recall being on the Citi Breakfast Show a year after and asked what the plan was. Because it wasn't just about building these things. It was about them being built and being useful. Now, that meant that we asked on this show, and I remember very well because I did the asking, what the plan was in terms for the youth centers to keep them viable daily. 2024, we did the National Independence Day celebration in Ho. No, we did Kofodia, don't worry. We did Ho 2 years ago, last year.
Ho was 2021.
Or 2020? No, we've been there recently.
Independence was 2021.
2021.
Yes, and then Kofodia was 2024.
We opened the youth resource center. It happened there.
Yes.
Have you seen it now, today?
Which one? The whole one?
The whole one.
I just drove past it the last time I went to Ho. I didn't enter it.
No problem. Kofodia, the one that we used recently. Have you seen it?
I have not gone there.
Navrongo, they were done. Have you seen it?
No.
Bernard, each of these things cost $1.8 million.
Dollars.
So 1.8 by 10.
What?
It's by 15.
No, by 10.
In terms of like the number.
The number.
Yes. So we did.
So they built 10.
Yes.
They built 10. You are the mathematician. So how?
18 million.
$18 million. So we have spent $18 million to build these facilities, some of which are still not complete, by the way, like Kaneshi, Azuma.
That place has become
yes.
So that's
270 million cedis.
Yes, but those that have been completed have been left to rot.
Why? Like how? Left to rot like how?
Bernard, they are not in use. They are there.
What are they supposed to be used for?
Bernard, let me give you my phone.
What are they supposed to be used for?
Bernard, they were supposed to serve as gathering centers. They're supposed to serve as training centers. They're supposed to serve as sports facilities for the communities within which they are found. So let me give you my phone. Yes, here it is.
So the one at Ho, when I'm going to Ho and I use Sogakope Road, I get to after Daklu Mountain. You see it on your left. So when
look at the photos here. This is Navrongo. Just slide.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
It's like a Hey.
Okay.
What's going on here? So it's like a stadium with bush.
Yes.
Like a stadium, but so is it abandoned or left? What's the problem?
Yes, Bernard, that is the issue. So we've done these facilities and then we've left them
to be overrun by weeds. Is it an Navrongo one?
Yes. Now this is who I've given you my phone, and listeners, those of you have that means yes, this is who.
Why have they left it like that? The Adaklumonte is behind it.
So
what's the point?
Exactly.
Oh, listeners. So it's like bush.
No, basically it's rotting away.
Why have they left it like that?
Which is the point? So because that's the question I'm asking, and we require Parliament.
Are they for sports or what?
It was yes.
So why are they keeping it like that?
There are sporting facilities
there,
and they are supposed.
Each one has a football pitch. They have tartan tracks.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, they have tartan tracks.
Do they have regional races that they can run there?
So much that they could do. And remember that day when I spoke about this thing, I spoke about this thing and spoke about how useful it will be if they actually did it. Again, I'm talking to Parliament here today. YEA Youth in Sports program takes off. It was launched the year after we started building these things. We're training people in pitch management. Now, according to the YES website, after the training, participants will be equipped with basic skills to manage football pitches, like these ones. They were training people in fitness and wellness who could have worked at these places. Coaching, who could have worked at these places.
So what is the problem?
These places, and none of them is functioning according to my checks as we speak today.
You built 10 youth resource centers,
Yes.
which are like mini stadia,
Yes.
with tartan tracks and sitting capacity,
Yes.
and they are just rotting.
Rotting away.
Now, when they were being built, I even made mention of the location, but I didn't want to go into it too much because of the way of. But some of the locations were a bit strange for me.
Like Yunehini.
What, like, but we left it. You build it. Everybody deserves facilities. But here we are, years after. Those that have been... Oh, Caleb, you have an aerial shot. Bernard, have you seen the aerial shot?
So, Bernard, this is even where the NYA office is. This is
Kaneshi
Sports Complex.
Kaneshi Sports Complex.
It's a forest.
Well, since we want to green Accra...
And the NYA... The point I was going to make, and I'm surprised you bring this up, because the NYA boss... This is his office. The building is his office.
Was this the new? Where did the standard?
Yes, for Zuma Nelson Sports Complex. This is it.
All kinds of creatures.
Well, it's like a green belt now.
Yes.
We'll take it like that. It's like
no, Bernard. No. So one is going to Parliament.
My simple appeal this morning to Parliament and whoever it is, we need an audit of these facilities.
But I said I don't need it.
But so why did we spend $18 million on it?
Wait, so who's supposed to use it?
It's NYA and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They should come and tell us something about why these facilities that have been completed are in the state that they are in.
We built 10 youth resource centers, which are like stadia and
mini stadiums,
and we have just left them to rot.
They are just rotting away.
But this is
we cleaned it up to do Independence Day. After Independence Day, we went away. What is this?
No.
When did you take this shot?
This one, actually, Coco David commissioned someone to take these drone shots. So that's the NYA boss's office. And behind it is the Kaneshi Sports Complex. And it's bush. It's taken over by...
Kaneshi Forest.
Yeah.
Kaneshi I'm sure if you enter, all kinds of creatures are in there.
Because I understand a church used to hold annual programs there. And they stopped them from going there because when they did, they will rehabilitate the place and all. They said, they are going to use it for something. So and that's what has become of it.
Hey, there's greenery in Kaneshi.
Yeah.
So Aloski, this morning,
so this is
the Honorable Mustafa, Yusuf, and Pius Enamajide, you have work.
No, I still don't understand this.
You spent
$1.8 million
per center.
On 10. Name the locations again.
So we spent the money in Wa,
Upper West,
Doma,
Upper Bruno.
Yes, Dunkanofin.
Dunkanofin is central region.
Yes, Kofodia,
Eastern region.
Nyinahini, Ashanti.
Nyinahini is Ashanti.
Yes. Axim,
Western region.
Accra,
Greater Accra.
Navrongo.
Upper East again.
Yendi,
North
and Ho.
Volta.
Yes.
And they are all just there.
Those that have been completed. They are just there.
And most of them are uncompleted as we speak.
Like Accra.
But what's the point of building something that you don't want to use?
Meanwhile,
is it the Ministry of Sports thing?
Ministry of Sports and NYA. I'm not leaving out NYA.
The previous
because the budget for this actually we're told is NYA budget. It's not Youth and Sports Ministry budget.
The previous sports minister.
Pius Enam
Hajide.
Yes.
Who wants to be MP in my mother's hometown?
Pius. What's happening to the youth? It's called Youth Resource Center.
Yes, Resource Center.
We need them to speak about this. Because you see, we lack the infrastructure.
And you've built it.
You've built the thing and you've left it to rot.
In the meantime, Bernard, 2 million youth are not in education, they are not employed, and they are not in training. That's what the Ghana Statistical Service is telling us.
2 million youth are not in education.
I'll leave it to you.
And we have our resource centers going to waste.
Ghana cry. Why? Ghana, why?
Here's a big announcement from Breeze Ride app. You know the app already has been the most affordable, providing most affordable rides in Accra, and now offers cheap delivery services as low as 15 Ghana cedis. It's the same app people now use to refill their gas cylinder for cooking without stepping out of their house. But now Breeze is taking things to another level. Breeze app has a personal shopper in the app. So after you download and open the app, you just press personal shopper, and then you just write the list of items you need and the name of any shop, market or restaurant where you want them purchased. The app will instantly send someone to buy the exact items, and while shopping for you, the app sends you live pictures of each item they select at the market or shop. So Charlie, avoid stress and traffic and let the personal shopper do everything for you on the Breeze app. Breeze app is on the Google Play Store and App Store, so download the app and try it now. Question for you: which app allows you to transfer money at only a tiny fee using Visa card? ExpressPay. That's right. We keep falling for you. Yes, our prices are falling. Send 100 cedis, pay 1 cedi. Send 200 cedis, pay 2 cedis. And for the ballers, when you send 5,000, you pay just 10 Ghana cedis. Basically, any amount over 1,000 cedis, you pay just 10 cedis. So there's more. In this month of July, ExpressPay is filling the car tank of many lucky customers. One new customer and one old loyal customer every day, Monday to Friday till the end of July. Simply send 500 cedis or more by paying for services or sending money with your Visa card to qualify. So download the ExpressPay app for simplified payments, 24/7 customer service, tiny fees, and a full car tank. ExpressPay, in partnership with Visa, has made these tiny fees possible across 9 banks: Stanbic, EcoBank, StanChart, Absa, FNB, Fidelity, Cal, First Atlantic, and GT Bank. Visa card holders. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, from the 26th of July to the 11th of August, every eye will be trained on Paris. That's where the 2024 Olympics will be happening, and DSTV will bring you the best coverage for every moment in HD via 8 dedicated channels. Tune in to watch our very best, Benjamin Azamati, Jupro Lamwa, and our 4x100 relay teams take on the world's best and hopefully get some wins. So renew your subscription today by dialing *759# to follow the 2024 Paris Olympic Games only on DSTV. DSTV is your home of entertainment.
I can't wait for the Olympics. Sky, when you get time, watch Olympics with your kids, and then
it's amazing.
Use sport to explain life to them. It's very important. So usually when you watch football, we discuss it. It's very important. Athletics, long jump athletics is a really, really good place to teach people things. So let's watch it.
It's the most primal of sports,
I swear. All right, let's deal with this one before I take you into my next interview.
In case the unexpected happens, how protected are you? Your business, your school, the shops, the goods, your home, and your cherished vehicles, or your kids, and the list goes on. How do you get your investment back if the unexpected happens? Do you have a guarantee of your investment? Are you ready for a solution to these challenges? Join us at the AMA Gardens for this year's insurance fair from 24th to 26th July 2024 at 8 a.m. To 5 p.m. each day. It's free. This event is brought to you by Graphic Business in partnership with Ghana Insurance Association and sanctioned by the National Insurance Commission.
Well, Godfrey, you're getting some corroboration here.
What's he saying?
Good morning, team. Ho hosted the 2023 Independence Day. So you were right.
Okay.
Not the 2021. Unfortunately, the whole Youth Resource Center is absolutely rotting away. No maintenance. It's like we wasted taxpayers' money on building this center.
Meanwhile, the whole sports stadium is being used every single day. So as soon as they were done with the independence celebration, whatever, why did they not simply say, okay, send some of the activities that happen at the whole sports stadium to this one? Now I have messages here. Somebody says the pitch in the Koforidua one, for instance, the recently Division 1 games couldn't be held at the Koforidua Center because of the asking price. The forecourt has been turned into funeral grounds. The Dunkwa Youth Resource Complex is terrible. It has been abandoned as well, with chairs fitted and the pitch done, but they didn't do the tartan tracks and they've abandoned it.
Sky, can't somebody ask a question in
Parliament? We need somebody to answer these questions for us.
They are their constituency. That is in a constituency, isn't it?
They are in different parts of the country.
Yeah, so the members of these.
Yes, the members of Parliament for these areas. should please.
We can find them. So first one is Dunkwa Onofin.
Dunkwa
will be upper west. Upper
part of
Upper
Central.
That's in the central region.
Yeah, central.
Dentra upper. Then Navrongo is Navrongo.
Yes.
Wa is there one a Wa?
Yes.
Wa.
Yes.
Ho is Ho.
Yes.
And then
Doma
is helping.
We need to figure out between our friend Manoma and
Doma east or west.
It says Doma.
Anoma.
So whichever one Anoma, go and find out. Paul Boama. Go and find out what is happening there.
They fire for TV and radio all over.
Always commenting on things, some of which are not TV.
You
should go and pursue this one.
Advise us.
Yesterday he was even on TV.
Yeah.
Every day he's on TV.
No, they deliver. I deliver rough. Great things, fellow countrymen.
Nina Yini is like one punya.
Yeah.
Isn't that Isaac?
That's Isaac Esiama. Is he still in Parliament?
He's still in Parliament.
Sorry, when did this project start?
2018.
So it was under him.
It was started when he was sports minister. He used to trumpet this a lot.
He put one in his constituency.
So within the same within the same party but different government,
yes,
they couldn't continue.
But they finished some and they've left them to rot away.
Is that they didn't find a use for it?
I don't know.
But are they necessary?
Which is the question I asked when they were being done. I think they are very necessary. What we don't do is in planning for these things, we do not plan for what we will do with them and who will do it. Which is why when Isiama announced this on this breakfast show, I asked that, did Isiama also present a plan, his ministry, do they have a plan, or the NYE, for what they will do with this infrastructure when it is done?
Yeah, but you've been talking
It's not just about the building. Who will work in it?
You said something. On this show, you said we don't have green spaces and we need parks.
Yes.
So you didn't agree with the AstroTurf. So if somebody is building
a
youth resource center with green grass and tartan tracks,
wonderful.
It's great.
Great.
Now, who should ensure that it's used?
The people with the sports authority.
The youth authority or the sports authority?
Both of them.
Both of them. Because
it's an NYA project. You see,
so apparently the whole one is Adaklu. So the MP will be Agboja.
Hey!
Governs.
Yeah, because the Independence Day was held in the Adaklu.
Yeah, but Adaklu is next to Ho actually.
Yeah, that's right. They used to be the same.
Who's MP for Axim? To find MP for Axim, let's mention his or her name.
No, but Charlie, you can dispel because Sky. I mean, you have a youth resource center. If for nothing at all, let the youth go and play football every week. You let them go and play football there every week.
No, during campaign season, they'll do a ponche cap.
And the reason why, you know why I mentioned the YEA thing?
It's sad because you see, we've been talking about promotional athletics and you've been complaining about lack of tartan tracks. Imagine if every region, all the schools even use the place for athletics.
Yes.
Which is what we thought was going to happen.
So why have they left it?
Which is what we thought was going to happen.
Leadership is sleeping. No. Sports minister, wake up. Which other minister is this? Or youth authority?
No, this is
NYA and
Yusuf
Zotu.
Youth Minister
sort it out.
Sports and NYA.
But they can also even link with education.
Yes, whatever. They need to, you see, because we wasted money. We've sunk money into this project.
Enam Haji.
Good morning. But I'm just saying the MPs of these areas should make wild. Call the people.
Who is the MP for Axim?
Axim, so the area is Evaluate Ajomoro Jura, and the MP is Kofi Ako Nokoi.
So that's MPP or NDC?
He's NDC. Yeah.
Let's mention the names again. There's Nyinehin is Isaac Esiama. Adaklu is Gavin Kwame Agboja. Navrongo is
Adaklu Mountains.
What? Who is Navrongo MP?
Kofodia is
Kofodia is Befi. New job in South. So there's a resource center, a whole stadium, and then they are not.
They just did something there recently.
There was held was it not?
It was at the Jubilee. It was a different park. You know, Kofodia, there's a park there called
the Jubilee Park.
Jackson.
No, I think this is the one that they did the independence celebration at.
Yes, it was at the youth resource center.
That means they are using it
for what? For what?
For independence.
No, but that is what they did to Ho. Ho also hosted it, and they left it after.
Navrongo's MP, Navrongo Central MP, Honorable Samson Tangombu.
So is it that there's nothing they need it for?
We need it, Bernard. The football teams don't have places to play.
For it?
No, Bernard. The thing also is, have the places been handed over
to who?
We don't know.
They go and do demonstration there.
Against what?
Against the lack of use.
Bernard,
it's not just the lack of use, it's the abandonment. It's not even just the lack of use. If it is not being used and it's being maintained, there's a problem. They are done with the thing. There's lack of use and it's been abandoned.
This guy,
I showed you the pictures.
How does this make sense?
Does it look like it's being maintained?
1.8 million CDs times 10, 18 million times 15. That's 270 million CDs or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you just leave it like that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot with many government projects. Sometimes the suggestion is that the contractor hasn't handed it over because they have not paid, and so if you go and use it, there are issues there.
Then the thing will be deteriorating.
Other times we want to investigate some issues that may or may not have gone on.
But there's no scandal about
Other
this.
times somebody wants to know whether the president has opened it. If they've not
Who is the
opened
MP
it
for Kaneshi? Okankwe South.
Is that Central or South?
Okay. Kaneshi is Okankwe South. So that would be Newman.
Newman, yeah. The lady, Victor Newman's daughter.
Bernard, but this cuts across. If you go to education, for example, you saw the story I did over the weekend from the Alogboshi Basic School. GNPC has spent our money, the foundation spent our money to build a 6-unit classroom block. And the building has been there for more than a year. It's not open. And the students, the pupils are studying in a structure that is decrepit, that is decaying. And the Lee Showers school is over.
I saw the report.
And
people are smoking substances.
Yeah, and in the slum, people are smoking weed and things.
The teachers say sometimes the kids are influenced by that.
They are selling weed toffee on the campus.
Meanwhile, while this is going on, Befi is cutting short for an AstroTurf on the Kubosia University football park tomorrow.
Nobody should attend that. Nobody should attend it.
Listen, 24th July, the MP for New Jamin South is cutting the sword for an AstroTurf on the Kubosia University football park tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, I'm told a football park with green grass is going to be turned into an AstroTurf.
Thank you. That's the Ghana way.
Let's close the country. We'll be back. When we come back, we'll take you into more comments. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Professor Patutomi is the CEO of Puff Track. They are very, very involved in Africa's trade. And also had Mr. Rene Awambeng, an investment banker, discussing powering and financing Africa's development. This was at the sidelines of the Badia conference held in Accra over the weekend. I'm very privileged to have two men, very similar but also very different. One is from Nigeria, the other is from Cameroon, but they are both global citizens. They live and work all over the world. Professor Patutomi is the closest you can get to a polymath because he's into leadership, training, he's an economist, he's also a finance man. He has lots of strong ideas on how Africa can develop. He has ideas on trade, productivity, and all of those things. Prof. Patutomi spoke on a panel I moderated earlier today, and I'm happy to have him join for an exclusive. Prof, thanks for joining us.
It's a great pleasure.
We're also very happy to have for the first time on the Point of View and on our channels, Mr. Rene Awambeng, who's originally from Cameroon, but as I said, lives all over the world, now in Dubai. He's been raising capital for the continent. He's been helping companies and businesses get the needed impetus to really bring transformation. And Rene, I'm sure you'll tell us more about yourself as we continue. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. It's funny how Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon are on the same panel. But let me start with Prof. Patutomi. You come to Ghana a lot of times. Why did you agree to be at this Badia program in the first place?
Well, first of all, I have a role as chairman of the Private Sector Pan-African Trade and Investment Committee, which Afrexim essentially gave impetus to, but it's supposed to be a source of policy input to heads of state of Africa in terms of trade and investment decisions. So we had to come here to make input into the AU Summit.
Wonderful. And what about you, Monsieur Awambeng? What's your role at this conference?
Well, I'm a passionate Pan-Africanist, so it will be very unusual for the African Union and Badia to be celebrating its 50th anniversary without me being here. So they were kind enough to extend me an invitation to join them in Accra, Ghana, which has become the financial hub of our continent, to celebrate not only the 30 years, but to examine key developmental issues which are facing the continent at this time.
How critical is development finance in unlocking the potential of the continent?
I mean, finance, first of all, is very critical. But you need to look at the ecosystem of financial institutions. If you go to the very local level, you have got microfinance institutions. Then you have commercial banks. Then you have central banks. Then you have development financial institutions, be they bilateral or multilateral. Now, development financial institutions play a very critical role in helping to drive development across, whether it's facilitation, whether it's financing of development. And development is heavy lifting. Development means that you put in place human capital, you put in place financial infrastructure, you put in place physical infrastructure. That physical infrastructure may be roads, railways, seaports, airports, hospitals, which facilitate and drive trade. Now, development financing partners in Africa today are critically around 10 key financial institutions, which are led primarily by the African Development Bank and probably African Export-Import Bank, the African Finance Corporation, the Development Bank of the DBSA from South Africa, IDC from South Africa, TDB from East Africa, Shelter Africa, and other financial institutions which I cannot name here. These development banks, working with some of their partners like Badia, are doing a significant role in unlocking development in the continent. They bring long-term financing, they bring patient capital, they bring concessional blended financing, which comes at a cost. However, this development finance still today doesn't meet the challenge of financing the burden of Africa's infrastructure. It complements, but it doesn't meet that need. That is why we see the continent still struggling at various levels. Every year, particularly in the last couple of years, we've seen interest rates on the rise. We've seen inflation on the rise. We've seen demand for development and infrastructure on the rise, but we don't have the available resources to be able to match that. So there is a conundrum for decision makers, for policy makers, how to support that development. And the common man on the street is only seeing that bread that he was buying yesterday at 10 cedi, that bread now is now 20 cedi or 100 cedi. Fuel to put in his kerosene, to put in his lamp or in his car was 100 cedi, now that is 100,000 cedi. How does this work now? This is where the issue of productivity, which you raised, and competitiveness comes in. We need to work, first of all, as Africans, to start consuming what we produce so that we reduce that import burden. We need to drive agricultural production. We need to aggregate our agricultural production to take care of other communities that cannot fend for themselves. Something just happened outside there. We met a lady who says that she's exporting grain, maize from Ghana here. Do you know that now, in my firm, Premier Invest, we are working to support an African sovereign to import grain from Eastern Europe because of the drought that is in Southern Africa. So that means that even when we talk about intra-African trade, there is a gap of knowledge about who is producing what here and who is producing what there. So that country will go ahead and import for millions of dollars grain, which they could have sourced probably from Ghana, because there's lack of trade information. Now, you don't see how that impacts development finance, because resources that could have been applied to do something else around the heavy lifting are now being spent now to get agricultural production. So you see how that linkage is. And when you put that on the scale of all of Africa and the 55 countries around the continent, you see the magnitude of that scale and the magnitude of that problem.
You've given us a lot to think about in your opening thoughts. Let me bring Prof in. But you said that we don't need PT capital, but you also said, as Africans, because Africa is the future, Africa needs investment, both from within and without, and that the future of the world depends on investment in Africa. I want you to use that in your entry into the conversation around development finance.
I'm going to come into it, but it's important to make the point of what's finance anyway. It's a very simple thing. In this world, there are people who have savings. They have more money available than they need to use. Okay, and it can be sitting there doing nothing. So this is a capital surplus area. There are people who have great ideas that can turn things into greater value, but they don't have that money sitting around. So if you can efficiently take it from these people, make it available to these people, that your intervention increases the wealth for all of society and progress does take place. So the question is, how do we organize this in a way that the desire that society has to make progress does come about? Now what we find, unfortunately, is that in Africa, we don't do this efficiently enough. First of all, there's the impression that there's no money available to use to develop. So we need to be helped from outside. World Bank, IMF, who please come and help us. And they then look at us with pity. Okay, we give you this out of pity. It's not pity because they're killing us.
Yeah.
You know, the American economist Joseph Stiglitz, many years ago, wrote this book, Globalization and Its Discontents. And his prime thrust was to say, wait a minute, IMF, World Bank, you're not doing exactly what was agreed in Bretton Woods. You have made yourself debt collector for financial institutions that made wrong decisions. You're not a debt collector. You're supposed to ensure, yes, certain financial stability in the global system, But these banks, they wanted to recycle petrodollars. And so they forced, literally, encourage African countries to come and borrow monies that they couldn't pay. And then now you say they're in trouble. You get the IMF to put pressure on them. So that's not what the IMF and co were set up to do. Very important point to make there. Took bad risks, should pay the price of it and move on. But IMF prevents them from paying that price. Now, but they then go about and treat it like we need pity. No. The reason that I think Africa should be taken seriously in terms of financing, both from within and from abroad, is that we live in a transiting global order. See, we have aging continents. Europe is aging, they're not having children. Asia is, America is. A continent that is producing the young that can keep this planet going is Africa. That young needs investment in them so that they can move from statistics to human capital. And when they transform from statistics to human capital, they essentially provide a demographic dividend to the continent. So the business of capturing that demographic dividend is a profitable business. There's no pity involved in it. It is pure, straight, good business. So let's approach that good business with good sense. And in doing that, I think that it can be win-win for everybody. So that's why we say, don't think pity or pity capital. Yes, think patient capital.
Wonderful.
Like Rene was saying, because you don't give people loans that you ask for 30% interest and expect them to take fundamental investment challenge decisions. Right. Look, greenfields, for example, anytime you apply for a loan, they say, we don't do greenfields. We don't do greenfield. So they just want you to come, you're running an operation, they just put some money, take away the profit, and nothing. When you are in Africa's position, 90% of your real serious projects are greenfield. So who is going to finance it? That's why you need development finance institutions. And they too need to understand what it really takes to take ideas, to take human capital, transform their ideas into value for society.
Wonderful. Let's deal with two themes that have come out of this. So Rene gave us the 4 levels: microfinance, commercial banks, central banks, development finance. But I think his main point was that in terms of quantity of capital, it's not enough to meet the developmental need. And then he also alludes to quality in terms of the efficiency of the institution and allocation and all of that thing. Let's do the quantity question first. So it appears there isn't enough capital here, which is why we go to the West or the Middle East or Asia for capital. Yet again in the panel, you alluded to the fact that, look, if we could find a way of institutionalizing what we have, whether it's land or buildings or kiosks, we could unlock more capital. Yeah. So I want you to deal with the question of the available capital and Hernando de Soto for me, and then I'll come to you on the quality of the institution in their intermediation role.
Yes. Now, this is so important because, again, the impression is often created that we are so fundamentally weak, we don't have any capital. But what is capital? Where did it come from? Why is it that the average person in America has easier access to capital, or in Europe? A Peruvian economist called Hernando de Soto has spoken very stoutly to this subject. In his view, poor third world countries are very, very asset rich, but their assets come to debt capital. Why is it so? Because institutional development is such that those assets do not take on a fungible value, whereas in the West, it's easily so. A person starting a business in Europe or North America takes a second mortgage on his house, for example. The land that his great-grandfather left him in the middle of Minnesota has this value. Everybody knows that. He can go to a bank and use it as security to borrow money to start a business. In Africa, the average person who may have all this ancestral land, the banks completely discount it as amounting to nothing. So he cannot access that loan to start a business. And this disadvantage, compounded by the fact of, Africa is too risky, so the price facilities going to Africa so high that this person who doesn't have security also has to deal with a more expensive facility. If our governments can listen and work a little hard, and the development finance institutions work with them to create these representational systems, where there is a land registry for example, that captures every land in Ghana, and whatever your grandfather left you near Kumasi, you can actually trade it.
Yeah.
And because the fact it is tradable, you can borrow against it and start a venture in which you know that you can add value that will lead you to extracting profit to pay off that loan and get wealthier and do even more things. This is a challenge that we typically face. There might be some things that are of huge investment natures that you may need raw cash capital, so to speak, to come from abroad. But you can leverage local assets to reduce the cost of that coming. And my favorite example, even at the government level, I'm a very big critic of the governments of my country, Nigeria, because I don't know what it is that made the economics a very bad thing. But you see, we have institutions like the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC. They drain rather than value. And because there's an example you can show. Many years ago, people like me argued that we should not, in fact, I have a book I wrote in the 90s titled Managing Uncertainty, Competition and Strategy in Emerging Economies. And I interviewed, as I was writing the book, the immediate past chief executive of the NNPC. I said to him, Dr. John, his name was Thomas John. I said, Dr. John, wouldn't it make sense to privatize the NNPC? And if we had the NNPC quoted in the London Stock Exchange, for example, if Nigeria needs money, it can take 2% of the stock of NNPC in the London Stock Exchange and use it to monetize. Absolutely. Leverage some loan to come and all of that. He looked at me very mischievously for 1 minute and said, what do you mean privatize NNPC? Is it not privatized already? I said, oh, I think I missed it. He said, yes, NNPC has always been privatized. The problem is that those who own it did not pay for it.
Well, so it's top of the hour, so that's how we will wrap it up. This conversation, Financing and Powering Africa's Development, between Professor Patrick Utumi and Mr. Rene Amwambeng is actually on CityTube. If you search Point of View, you would find a full conversation and enjoy it. In the meantime, it's time for the news at 10, and Zoe Abubeidu is in the studio. Good morning, Zoe.
Good morning, Caleb.
What's in the news?